All right. And we're on.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Hello.
everyone, to the
Hello,
second
guys.
episode of our podcast, Streamers Become Human, a weekly podcast where four of hopefully your favorite streamers get together to talk about video game and pop culture news. I'll introduce us all just in case you're not familiar with us. This is also, I want to credit Trev with this brand new overlay that he's done, which is very beautiful. My name is Rory, or Toctopus. I stream stealth games and then have an identity crisis about streaming stealth games. To my right, there is
That's Pepper.
my amazing and wonderful girlfriend Morgan, known as Mapsio Morgan on Twitch. You'll see Trev has included a little heart here for us, which is very lovely. She streams a little bit of everything, but has lately been doing various games in the Legend of Zelda mega franchise of video games. She knows a lot about voice acting in Disney. Feel free to ask her any question about that. Just below her, yes, yeah, that's right. Just new. Oh, she's wearing a Wind Waker shirt, which she's very proud of. And just below her is Trev, or TL Breezy. And he streams Overwatch and the occasional action game, and he runs the show here. So if you have any questions about how things are going, or you have any positive feedback, please address it to him. To his left is Melly, otherwise known as Sugar Melly, a wonderful variety Twitch streamer who, as I mentioned last time, is actually the second streamer I ever started watching. So I'm a big fan. Please check all of these people out. So how is everyone today?
Doing good. We are a little late, and that's solely Zeus's fault. So
Yes,
Yeah, right.
that's the one.
Send me all your negative feedback. Positive goes to Trevor, negative goes to me.
look, you
Tater.
can send whoever you want the negative feedback, as long as it's not me.
Pew pew. What's going on? A podcast is going on, and I'm glad you've discovered it. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, everybody's here. So we're sort of discovering as we move along here the format of this podcast. One of the things we're hoping to talk about is like the latest things that are happening in gaming news. So what we did actually today was we took some articles and things that interested us and posted them in the Discord. Except for Trev, who did not do that.
No,
So I know
I
he has
did.
something in mind. Wait, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I knew you would come up with something. I didn't know you'd post it in the Discord. Did you? Oh, yeah.
Were
I'm
you just
looking
like
at it
sitting
right
there
now.
like about to call me out, and then like I had actually done it?
No. I thought you were just keeping it a secret, like
No,
keeping us on our
it's-
toes, as you are wont to do, by the way.
No, I would never. All right, I don't know where you got that idea from.
So I kind of want Trev to start because I want to know what this story is right now because I'm curious about it.
Remember?
Okay, so the only issue with this is that because we're using Discord to do the video call,
That we are.
can one of you post the link I submitted in the chat? Because if not, I'd have to like take out the window, the full
There you
screen
go.
for the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, it's there.
In the game chat? Or the,
Oh.
yeah, no, I meant like
Yeah,
the
it's
stream
in-
chat, not the
Oh, the chat.
yeah, because I'd have to exit out a full screen of the whole like cast we have in order to access those links.
Oh yeah.
See, I just have my other monitor right here.
I'm hitting enter, but it's not typing. Why? What did I ever do to this thing? Okay, hold on. I'm just
In the
finding
stream,
another way
wait, in
around.
the stream chat?
In the
Yeah,
stream
and
chat.
like
Do you
on
have
the
it,
Twitch
Morgan?
chat. Yeah, okay, there we go.
Thank you.
All right, so thank God no one ever considered us professionals. But the first article we have is going to be news that should hit all of us, and like we should all be affected by, because it has to do with Twitch and their acquisition of the Internet Gaming Database, which is how I was describing it. Was the IMDb of gaming. So if you want, you can follow along in the article if you guys want.
No, actually,
The link that Morgan posted.
That's interesting too, because I didn't know there was I didn't know there was a database of games. It makes perfect sense, but
Yeah,
I
didn't
not
know that
it
either.
actually existed.
Is this like an IMDb of games? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
that's what the subline says. It says
Oh, okay,
the
yeah.
IMDb of games behind it. So originally, something I didn't know is that Twitch. Something that I didn't know is that Twitch actually used to. I don't know if it was like a partnership or if they just had owned or had like a contract with Giant Bomb, but I guess that's how they were doing searching and like API stuff was via Giant Bomb. And now that they acquired the Internet Games Database, they're gonna be switching over to that one as opposed to having Giant Bomb. And supposedly it's supposed to be easier to find games and stream different ones, because I don't know if many of you have tried to stream games that no one cares about. Maybe Rory has, but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
games that
I've
are like
been there.
really old or like something that you wouldn't think you'd find on Twitch. Supposedly it's supposed to be easier for those type of games, because this is like the gaming database as opposed to just Giant Bomb and what they consider to be and like games that
That's
are worth
good,
streaming
actually.
and stuff. Yeah, so it's good for like the retro streamers and stuff who like want to play like those like back in the day. Like if someone would play Duck Hunt or something, like I don't think there's a category for that.
Well, yeah. If you'll notice, a lot of retro streamers just stream under the category retro as opposed to the game that they're
Yeah.
actually streaming. And one of the things that I've noticed is sometimes, occasionally, when I try to stream something, and I like, you want to set your category, so you search for the game. Like sometimes if the game is a little obscure, maybe it won't have an icon or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a question mark or something.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I look forward to that. It may seem like a small little quality of life change, but I think it's like meaningful. Also, hello Meerkat, how are you?
I think definitely that's be more positive for
Hi,
the
Meerkat.
the retro streamers, the retro based
Definitely.
gamers, as opposed to like people who stream the games currently going on now.
Well, yeah, one of the people from the stream team I'm on, Man Over Mars.
Yeah, Man on Mars.
I'm sorry, I'm having technical issues. AKA,
It's not so technical. It's just
it's animal issues.
yeah, animal.
But he streams
Pharmaceutical.
a lot of games from Game Boy, which I really appreciate. And so I think it'd be interesting for people like him who play a lot of retro games. He's got like a whole catalog of games that he streams a lot. Anyway, that's one of the streamers I think of when we talk about playing some obscure games.
I didn't even think of streaming Game Boy games. That's a really like that must be a nightmare.
That's
for
how I
finding
was doing
categories.
Fire Red. I was
Oh,
emulating it.
Tater. By the way, I'm drinking apple juice. Yeah,
You
were
don't,
wondering what I was
Meerkat,
doing.
you emulate it.
Yeah, you'd have to emulate it. Hi, Ari.
Harry.
Airy.
Hi, Airy.
Is there a way to? Is there some like weird, like
Hello,
obscure homebrew way of doing Game Boy stuff with original hardware? Because those people get creative. That would be interesting.
I know in order to stream off your DS a while ago, you had to get like a modded one that took maybe like
Yeah.
half a year. I don't know.
Yeah,
Morgan can
for
specify
for a
that
3DS,
more.
yeah.
Yeah. it
For a
was like-
3DS, because I've actually looked into wanting to do that. But yeah, you can't just use your own 3DS. You have to actually buy a modded one with everything already connected to it, which I usually think can
it
kind of
takes
run
a
a little bit
long
expensive.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, you mostly do everything from your PC, but yeah, it can be a little bit harder though.
That's why I think emulation is just the better way to go when it comes to handheld stuff.
Tater, that's actually how some people used to do it. Is they would like I've actually
that's
seen
right.
I've actually seen like
That's-
somebody made like a makeshift thing out of a box, and they would like basically put their camera like down into it, and it would actually kind of make it like look nice enough that it wasn't like obscuring the screen and stuff like that. It was interesting.
Can we
That's,
give props to the original streamers who paved the way?
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
hello, Water Dragon. How are you? I think back in the day when I started watching YouTube,
I was just
the
gonna
community
say,
of like YouTube like Let's Play people was,
was just the
split
camera,
in
yeah.
the middle. There's some guys that had capture cards, but that was rare, right? And then there were some guys that just pointed a camera at their TV and they just talked over it like with no separate audio track.
So like for those of you who were there for this like story of like when I reminisced and went through my old school YouTube channel, I actually had an ongoing playthrough of Pokemon Soul Silver from like the DS, and it was just that. It was just me having a camera pointed at the thing, and then like me talking. And like keep in mind, I was like 12 when I was doing this.
Right.
So like when I heard it, I was like, "Is that really me?"
Yeah, I feel like I started watching YouTube Let's Play content in like 2000 and like
I did that game,
ish.
and then I did a game on PS2. I did Sly Cooper. I think it was the second one.
Oh yeah,
Trev, you
I
were a
forget the name of
pioneer.
that. Yeah,
Trev
it
was a
like-
pioneer.
You're a pioneer
Yeah.
content creator.
It was I think like Band of Thieves or something. But yeah, I remember those videos being terrible, and I was like, whoever fucking watched these, like, I couldn't imagine.
Well, like some guys got popular that way, like just with a camera, right? Now they presumably upgraded with the time,
Yeah, hopefully.
right?
It's
And I
like
mean, a
this-
lot of them have migrated over to Twitch now. I
If-
mean,
if you're still using cameras and just like pointing it there, like you're not gonna be very popular with people.
Well, and that's the way to start, to be honest. Like, start with what you can do is what I always say to
Yeah.
people. Because, like, I talk to people all the time about, like, because, you know, like, at GameStop, like, every once in a while, I'll say, like, yeah, you know, I do streaming when people talk about it. And of course, I'll get people that are like, oh, yeah, I want to stream so bad. I want to get this and I want to get that. I got to get a PC and I want to do this. I'm like, listen, you have a PS4. Yes. It's like, okay, start with that. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because like I've talked to people before that like really wanted to get into streaming, but they wanted to do it like the professional way ish. Like
yeah.
I think that's how
so-
a lot of people feel, because I think what it
Yeah.
is they see that happen and they want to be just like those people. Like I can't tell you how many people
Yeah.
are like, oh, I want to be the next Ninja, or I want to be the next Doctor Disrespect, and they see their professional setup with like a green screen, lights, shop lights, whatever, and there's like, oh, I want to do that, and like they have in their mind that's the only way they can do it, as opposed to
No, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And
like,
I-
it's not, because like me and Melissa started from, and Ash too. We were all originally just PS4 exclusive streamers.
yeah, that's
I
true.
was,
Actually,
I mean, I started off with it. I mean, I got pretty quick because my brother. I mean, I was lucky because my brother had a spare PC. Can you believe that?
yeah.
Like, oh,
Well,
you
he-
can just
he
borrow
works
my
Who
in-
would
PC.
stream?
he
Who would
works
stream
in,
from a spare PC?
He works in IT, so that doesn't sound super off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tater, I
Um,
feel that. By the way, I'm 5 years older than Meerkat, so
But yeah, like because I'll get people all the time. They're like, "Yeah, I want to get myself a really nice PC and a capture card. I'm gonna do this." And I'm like, "Listen, you need to start kind of basic, if I
yeah,
can be honest."
totally.
Because like there are so many people that like I've seen some where so like right now, one of the things that I've been listening to on GameStop TV, like hours on end, is I cannot remember for the life of me what he goes by. Ali A.
Oh yeah,
think that might be it.
I know
Ali A is
he's
a
a COD
YouTuber.
guy, I think.
Yeah. He does like Pokemon Go and Fortnite. And he said he started his like 10 years ago, and he said that what he likes to do is he makes it like well known that for the entire first year of his YouTube career, he only got about 100 subscribers in a year. He's like, that was barely like one a day, or not even one a day. And so like I'll see people like wanting to like start up like on stream and stuff, mostly because they want to get like the revenue and stuff from it, when like that's not what you want to go with first either.
No,
like for one
definitely
thing,
not.
yeah,
We-
because for one thing,
We always
It's-
tend to tell people that like if you're trying to get into streaming for like money or like
mhm.
to make it a career, like that's the wrong reason to
Go do
it.
something else.
Yeah,
Go
'cause, like,
make more
this
money
is-
doing literally anything else.
If you had started this back in the day when it was like Justin TV, maybe you could have done that.
Yeah.
But now, after it's gained so much traction,
There's way too much saturation for that.
unless you're
Yeah.
like a prodigy at something,
Unless you're like a god at
Yeah,
playing a certain
like-
game.
Mhm.
unless you're
Yeah.
like ninja level, then you're not gonna be able to do it.
if you're a known esports player, you can do that.
Yeah,
The
but usually they have some sort of like contract to do that anyway. They're
Yeah.
either YouTube or Twitch or Mixer now.
yeah,
Yeah, like-
exactly. Yeah.
Starting from the very bottom though, Like definitely, like that's what I've been trying to tell people. It's like, listen, like if you already have a PS4, try to stream from the PS4. See if you like it. That's the thing that I have to make sure to tell people, because some people just might not like it. Is the thing. Like,
Yeah,
and
and
then
it takes a while to
what do
get
you do
comfortable,
then? Yeah,
like,
and it's like, what do you
behind
do
the
then?
microphone.
Because you get like the really nice microphone, the really nice headset, and the nice monitor and
Mm-hmm.
PC and capture card and everything. Then you figure out, oh my god, I don't really like streaming all that much, or I don't have
Yeah,
the time for
exactly.
it.
And you've invested hundreds of dollars. Like when I
Yeah.
started, I was fortunate because I started with a microphone, a good PC, and a background in broadcasting. But like still, like that may seem like, oh, like that's like the full professional setup. But you soon start to realize how many little things go into full professional setup, like the lighting and like the chair. If you're gonna stream for something for like 7 hours a day, like you're gonna be pretty uncomfortable if you don't have a good chair. And it's like that the professional thing,
Talking
you'll
about
never
that.
get there almost, right?
Like, when to use a piano bench. I was like, how are you using this piano bench?
I still don't have a good chair.
No, me
I moved
neither.
the couch.
Me neither. Like, it's just like you can't start at that professional level. It's just so unattainable. The amount of money you'd have to sink into it is like hilarious.
Well, yeah. 'cause,
Also,
like,
you might find it's not for you. Like some people,
Mhm.
they don't like the green screen thing. Like they don't realize they don't like it until they see it.
Well, I can think of a couple examples that like people who went back and forth. They were like, I know Lobos Jr. and then Ash are two people who were like partnered on Twitch. They went from using green screens to not using them, and then they went back and forth for a little bit while. But now they're on the not using them. And I was
Yeah,
just
exactly,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
I was like, I feel like it's more of a like situation and how you feel at that time.
Yeah, and I like the personalization of not having like if we look at like Morgan and Trev right now, like you know, their like rooms are personalized, right? It really feels
Yeah.
like them.
That's what I said too. Is like, because people have asked me, why don't you use the green screen? I'm like, I feel like not having it adds like background and like character for the streamers. Because like you can like at your old place, everyone
Yes.
always come in and be like, oh, is that a BioShock poster? And then like, oh, is
Yeah.
that a Wonder Woman poster? Or
It's
like,
like the
whatever.
number one comment I got is you like BioShock, and then we talk about BioShock. Like this is a new apartment. I promised there'd be posters, by the way.
So it
if
adds
wasn't
more
somewhere
of
I
that
think.
like friendly feeling, like over there I have Lady Maria from the Astral Clock Tower, and like people will be like, oh, what's that in the corner? I'm just like, and then below it I have Yamato from Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
See, like for me, I can be like, "Oh, you mean my weeb wall? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it."
it's
Morgan
so
always
much
calls
easier
it.
for those people to get in conversation with other people that don't really know them if they see something they like or have questions about it.
I don't
Yeah,
feel
Zeus, I
like
don't use a green screen at all.
And
And I probably
area,
won't.
area, like I don't feel like a green screen is essential in the slightest.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it, you know, and that's fine. Like for people that want to use green screens and everything, you know, like they feel like that's essential for them. But I feel like for a stream, it definitely isn't essential. You're not considered less professional just because you don't have a green screen.
Yeah, exactly.
I can remember one time I got into a really good conversation with another streamer because he had a whole bunch, like he had like a big bookshelf behind him, and he had a whole bunch of like his like boxes from like special editions and stuff. And I was like, I see
Mhm.
Tales of Zillia up there. Do you like the Tales series? And we got into this big conversation about like the Tales games and everything. And that's how quick you can get like a viewer to be like immersed into your own stream already. Just somebody comes in, they're like, hey, look at this thing. And then, you know, then they want to stay and talk for a little bit.
Totally. The more you can get about yourself, like implicitly to the you're right, implicitly to your viewers, the better. Like, you know, and that's one of the other things I really recommend is actually like putting some time into writing your description and stuff like that. Like that may seem like a small thing.
Like bios, FAQs, anything else more about yourself. Just like not too much, obviously. Not like, oh, I live at like this address and like this is my social security.
No,
number.
yeah.
But
I feel
like,
like it's good to like roll in and someone be able to scroll down and be like, what's this person just about? Like that's one of the first things I look for because I want to know what games they play.
it should always
right?
be like what you would put if you were writing like a biography. You know how like most authors for their books put on the back like, oh, I'm so and so and like I live in wherever and it's like I have 2 kids and then like I like doing this and this. It's like it should be something along those lines.
Yeah, totally.
See, I think part of that, like, that's definitely something that draws a person in. Because I do that all the time, where I'll go to somebody new and I'll scroll down and I'll see like maybe they have a picture of themselves, or like maybe they have a picture of a pet, or they're talking about all the
Yes.
games that they played, what kind of games that they like. One of the things that I always find off-putting, and no offense to anybody who does this, because you can do your stream how you want, but something that I always find off-putting is when I go into a stream, and one time I saw this one person went down into their bio, and they didn't even say what their name was. They didn't say anything else except for donate to me.
I was
button.
gonna say, I was like, what's his
That was it.
donations? I was like, oh,
I've
no.
seen
I
that
was
too.
like,
I've seen
oh.
that once or twice. That's really off-putting.
Yeah, it is off-putting. Like, I just feel like it's like, okay, so
those are the
they're
people
definitely
who
just here for
started,
the
and
money.
we're like, all right, I'm gonna make money off of all this, and then like they just
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, like seriously, do anything else. Like,
Mhm.
you can make more money doing almost anything that I could think of. That's a job.
Yeah.
Busking. You can make more money
You
busking.
make more money off some minimum wage job than you could sitting here waiting for like the partnership and being like,
Yeah.
like Ninja or something.
And if the only thing on your sign when you're busking is donate, that's okay, because that's literally the whole thing there. So you don't have to worry. Like, that's totally not out of place.
Yeah, it's definitely it's just a little bit. I mean, because again, like, for people that are trying to make money off of it, but again, like, you could definitely do something else if you need the money. Like, honestly, because it's like a perk. You know,
you can literally
that-
go
yeah.
and collect
that-
cans and bottles off the freeway and make more money doing that than starting your first stream expecting like like money dollars.
Well, I think it's like all of us, we stream because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
streaming it. We're not streaming because
It's
we're,
more of a hobby than it is a
Yeah.
career or like
Yeah.
job.
like, it's a perk that
Yeah.
we get to make money off of it. Like, it's nice. But I started because I thought it would be fun, and I'm still doing it because I thought it would be fun, and I am having fun. I've met all these wonderful people. I know that's probably gonna look weird because I'm technically, like, from my screen, I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. So, like,
Oh yeah, so
All-
that was the
all
other
these
thing
people.
too. When I made the overlay, I was like, hopefully it's all in the same position, or else this is gonna look really weird.
by the way, the overlay looks great, Trevor.
The overlay looks
I wanna
great.
say.
I agree 100%.
And yes, what Tater said earlier, I like the heart between Toctopus and Babsy Morgan.
Oh, I didn't know that you say that.
That's
but
a
yeah, I
nice
like that
touch.
touch. Yeah.
I mean, that's like I put this on my bio because it really is like the reason I stay with Twitch is I love the community. I love the people that I've met through it, and that's why I stay with it. And that's why like I wanted to stream because it gave me an opportunity to also help like kind of cultivate that community as well.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Exactly. I think it's the most socialization I get. Yeah. Like, all my friends all my best friends that I talk to the most are mostly, okay, wait, how did I do this? These guys?
Yeah, you're top right, so like you left and then bottom too.
Like these guys are my best friends, and I since I've gotten to know them so much better, like, it's because of Twitch, it's because of Discord. Like, it's definitely socialization of it is quite amazing.
Oh, can I point out, if you're in a Twitch that has like a Discord you can join for like a smaller streamer, I really recommend doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't recommend that enough, actually, as like part of the experience.
To an extent,
because
though, because like you don't want to be one of those people with, like 80 million Discord. Like I'm one of those people because I'm in that many different like communities, but like 90% of them are stuff in the folder called never touching.
yeah. I have a bunch in a folder as well. They like, yeah, you want to limit the. I think a good rule of thumb is actually just so many that you don't have to scroll through your Discord servers on the left. Just so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
to fill up the
Mhm.
side panel.
Well,
And then you should-
that depends also on if you always full screen Discord, if you have it in a small window, if you have it like the dimensions of the Discord. So if you're talking about full screen, then yeah, that's a good rule of thumb because I think that's like 10 or 12.
yeah. The oh yeah, Meerkat. I totally feel that, by the way. Like, yeah, streaming is one of those things you definitely like. You have to make time for.
Yes.
Especially if you have like a schedule.
Yeah, of any sort. Like if you like working 9 to 5 every day, it's just like
If you have conference calls constantly,
Yeah.
like me, you have to schedule
every
around.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's definitely like the hard part of being like working in retail and trying to do this is terrible because I don't have a set schedule ever. So it's like I can't just be like, okay, yeah, I want to be able to stream like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays because I never know. I never know when I'm gonna be able.
Yours is more like I'll know 2 weeks in advance kind of deal.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like fortunate with the way my job is scheduled that I made a schedule on like my third stream, basically, and more or less stuck to it. I think.
Yeah.
But everybody, never expect to get to every stream you have because you're gonna have like disruptions.
Yeah,
and people aren't gonna.
I don't think I
mind that
know
much.
a
It's-
single person who's done their schedule 100% of the time
Yeah,
over
exactly.
a long period of time. Like maybe at
Yeah.
first, like the first like 3 or 4 months they can, but like after that, like people are gonna
No,
have
it's
bad
just
days.
not.
Like
Yeah, I got sick this week,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah,
earlier
that
this week
too,
when I was
like,
supposed to stream, I did not stream.
you could stream if you were sick, and it'd be like a really silent thing, and you just like I've seen people who like don't use mics or like anything or voice at
That's
all.
true. Yeah.
And like not knocking on those people, but I think that's really intimidating if you're one of those people who stream and don't use a mic, because I feel like that takes away from like personality of that channel.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you went in somewhere and started talking like, "Oh hey, how you doing?" and you saw them like type back, "Oh hi," and like everything
Yeah,
else
I
is
feel
like
like-
replying in chat, I'd be like, "Oh."
Yeah, I feel like also because you can at least sit and like have a conversation, like go on like how we are right now, and then you can look at the chat every once in a while. Versus like for you to talk back to everybody, you have to like stop
Yeah,
actually
it takes
playing what
away
you're like doing what you're
from
doing.
the gameplay,
and then type.
and then it's
Yeah. Hi bees.
Hey, Beast, how are you?
Ari, I definitely agree with that too. Like having your mental health like making sure you're in a good place for that because nobody should have to feel like they need to stream if they're not feeling physically well or mentally well. Like
Yeah,
that's
100% I agree.
you definitely need to make sure that you're in that because the thing with me is that it's kind of like when I say I try not to get like frustrated with the games that I play because otherwise I'm just not going to enjoy them, like I don't want to sit and play a game that I'm not enjoying anymore because I get so mad and frustrated at it, so sometimes I just like sit back. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to play this for right now if I'm getting this frustrated at it.
And we
versus,
mentioned
like-
it last week. Like, if you don't enjoy the game or like what you're doing on stream, the people in your chat will be able to tell.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
your mood
another-
shifts like that. It's just like like you were all talkative at one point, and then like, after a while, it's like they stop talking. They look at chat every so often. They say like 1 or 2 words, and then it's just like really
It'll
awkward.
be rough. And like the thing is that as well, that's like brings up another important point of like, especially when you start playing just what you want to play, like don't be like, well, I need to get big, so what I need to play is like whatever the big game is on
Yeah.
Twitch right now.
Like, if
Do
you're coming on
not
here and,
under
like,
any circumstance.
I need to play Fortnite because that's the only way I'm gonna make it. It's like,
Yeah.
but do you
You'll
like
be
it?
miserable. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely play what you want. Play what you like.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to talk about it, and like people
Mhm.
will really gravitate to that. Like we all here stream different games, right? Because we all like sort of different games. And I think
There's a
people
couple
can-
like
Yeah.
overlapping games like
Definitely.
both me and Melissa have streamed Witcher and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then
You and I have both streamed
Bloodborne.
Elder Scrolls. as
yeah,
well.
we've both streamed Elder Scrolls, and
So I think what we came to the conclusion of, someone else here needs to stream a stealth game someday. Yeah.
I mean,
I've streamed a
I've played
stealth game.
Batman
It's called
before, but
Spider.
that's
It's
not,
called
like-
Spider-Man
Yeah, Spider-Man
And-
could be a
and
a
Arkham
stealth game.
City or Arkham Knight.
Also,
Okay.
speaking of Spider-Man-
All right.
And Rory, all 3 of those games were free on the Epic Game Store.
Yes, I do need to play Spider-Man. Morgan's right. I think that's what Morgan was about to say. Speaking of Spider-Man, and I will. I
It's-
promise.
You can't really see him, but next to the Sekiro guy right there's Spider-Man. That's the
Oh,
second
okay.
I came with it.
Unless
Trevor, I
you're
have a Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just reading Zeus's comment, like when he said, "Unless you're a god at a new big game, then you shouldn't be trying to stream it." In my opinion, see, like, and if you enjoy it, like if you're enjoying it, definitely stream it.
Oh
but,
yeah, way far away.
Yeah, yeah. But like again, like with Fortnite, Overwatch, or I don't know, whatever the other big games are right now. I don't know.
I'd kill to play Spider-Man.
Nice.
I feel it. So wait, I've got a
Um,
question. All three, like all of us except Rory, we all started off streaming without cameras. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Well,
Or have you always streamed with a camera?
I had
Wait.
one. I have the like PS4 one. I don't have it up right now because I took it down because I was gonna use it. But
I like that, Trevor.
I
Just show off
Are we
the
just,
swag.
are we
Yeah,
just
show
showing like
Fine.
steelbooks
How
or
are
something?
This turned into show and tell.
Yeah, pretty
this is a
much.
Are we
steelbook-
showing off our steelbooks?
steelbook collection.
Sorry, Mel, your question about cameras.
Yeah. So like, what was
Hi,
kind of
Mommy.
like your experiences streaming with a camera versus not a camera? I'm curious.
Well, I started off back in the day with just PS4 chat. So like, there's an option where you can either have a camera or you can have like your PSN avatar. I would just do my PSN avatar. And then slowly after having the camera, I was like, I might as well just like put the camera on and then see who else comes in. Cause like I think it does add more to it. Cause like if you I saw the reference, but she only put that in there because I said it in her chat earlier. But oh, that's another thing I forgot to do is add Nightbot.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say? Your steelbook collection is complete.
What's going on?
It's a song from The Little Mermaid.
Rory
You
hasn't
gotten
seen
it
Little
yet.
Mermaid.
So you
he
haven't seen the Little
doesn't
Mermaid.
know.
I knew it.
I guess not. No, don't worry. We'll watch it. That'll go on
There's
our
no
list.
mermaids on the island, so.
No, but
You outed yourself.
it
Yeah,
actually
just-
adds more to it.
Congratulations.
Like we were saying with like green screens and stuff. Like I just feel like having the camera, like, cause your voice can do a lot through like the range of emotions you can have. Like if you're angry, you're gonna sound more like fuck or something, and then like if you're if you're like distraught or something, you're like I just fucking
Yeah.
died or something.
Yeah, for the record, the only reason anyone, based on what the feedback I've gotten in my Twitch chat, the only reason anyone's ever followed
the
me is because
beard.
I have a beard.
Yeah.
Like no one. Like,
That's a
cares
Toasty
about
quote,
stealth
isn't it?
games. Yeah, pretty much. It's like a quote I've seen from multiple people, so I just assume it's true at this point. So that's what you can get if you have a beard, then get a camera. You'll get yourself a bunch of followers that way.
I feel like Zeus has a beard. So I feel like Zeus, if you search him, just like you can just
What,
do
like, you
IRL.
know
and
Zeus
it's
Zeus
fine.
definitely has a beard. Zeus has a beard vibe.
A beard vibe. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's entirely based. This is like a reading on Zeus. That
Yeah, like-
we're sensing a beard.
You can't be Zeus and not have a
You
beard.
don't?
Come on.
I feel like you're.
Oh, you
lying.
don't?
Look at that. Wow.
I feel like you're debating us. Like I feel like you shaved it off or something.
He probably has a glorious beard.
Like Zeus. You know who Hey Zeus Here's Toast is? I just imagine you looking like that guy.
I swear to God, you don't have a beard.
Swear to the gods.
Swear to the
You swear to your brothers and
to
sisters.
yourself. You swear to yourself, Zeus, the Greek god.
But yeah, like talking about cameras though, I like having my camera because I feel like I feel like it's a little more personal, like when my viewers can actually see me and like react and everything. You know, they can see when I say Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Yeah.
But let me tell you though, when I didn't have a camera though, it definitely felt easier. And it felt, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm stressed when I have the camera on, but like I feel like I have to like definitely be presentable like at all times, like instead of just like I feel like, you know, like wearing my pajamas right now or like throwing my hair.
When I streamed on PS4 without a camera, like I would just like roll out of bed and be like, okay, time for the stream.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
that's what I would do sometimes. I'd just be like sitting in my pajamas.
I also
I'm like,
feel
I
like
can't do that.
those
I mean, I could, but
those things aren't necessarily negative things for like having a camera, because like being presentable for a camera or whatever is like it's fine, but like for most part, like that's if you like got up and like do something, like that's how you should look. So it's like it's one of those things that like forces you to do things that like should have been done or like shouldn't be done depending on like what you do.
yeah, I mean, because then you look, you know, you're ready for the
Yeah.
day or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, and I find the same thing. Like I do, like if I know I'm going to be on camera. So like my hair was tied up until 10 minutes before this podcast. So I was like, okay, no. This is
Wait,
not
what do you
acceptable.
mean tied up?
Like I
Well,
tie
like
my
back?
hair up like
Like
like sometimes.
like a man
yeah.
bun?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What?
I was just gonna say that, but I was
I
like,
need to
just-
see a photo of
Sometimes,
this.
only when I'm wearing a hat. There
Oh,
are rare
I've-
photos. Morgan has one. Morgan's one of the only people with
I was
one.
like, I talked so much shit about these people who had like man ones back in then. I was like, I mean,
It's like a top knot, right? So if I'm gonna be wearing a hat,
like a
that's what I
samurai
do.
knot or
Like,
something. Like,
yeah. So if I'm going out, and I'm gonna be wearing a hat. Like it's a hot day or whatever. It's really sunny. Then that's what I'll usually do. It's like a summer strategy.
Yeah, see, exactly, Ari. So the thing with me is that, I mean, this is just how I am. When I like my hair is like curly and puffy, and if I just comb it out, and
I hate that
like,
when your hair gets curly and puffy. That's such a pain.
but like, and I can't do anything about it unless I actually like wash my hair, and so like, it this already looks kind of weird to me right now, but like.
It looks excellent, by the way.
Aw. No.
That's why the heart is there.
But like for me, like usually I'll just think like, okay, well, I want to stream today, so I'm probably gonna take like I want to like make sure my hair looks nice. So, like for me, like this is just my way of doing my hair. I usually like wash my head. I leave conditioner in for pretty much my entire shower, and then I take it out or then I wash it out when I'm finished.
Yeah, but don't you take like 20-minute showers?
No, I don't.
No, you added yourself that one day when you were like still in
It
bed.
was not
and, like,
20 minutes. It was like, I think I said 12 minutes, but that's like if I'm going slow. But that's usually what I do. And so sometimes I'll think, okay, well, I'm just gonna wash my head, but then I'm like, but it doesn't look as nice if I can't like do what I usually do because I have curly hair, so it's difficult. And so I'm like, I just might as well take a shower, and so that's usually what I do. But like, yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to be on camera if I just went with a ponytail day because literally my hair will be out to here, like, and I don't like it. And like that's how I feel about it. So like, but before, like if I didn't feel like dolling up my hair and everything, I could just put my headset on and be ready. You know, it was nice. And if I remember right, Mel, didn't we talk about that not that long ago about how a couple of our streamer friends said that if they could have started out, they would not have started using a camera.
You're saying that if they use a camera
I
now,
wanna
but like
respond.
they didn't want to use one in the beginning, is what?
Well,
you're saying?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I talked to them about it, and they said if they could go back, they wish they could just like not have a camera, just because there's a lot of stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
But so I'm
I'm so sorry.
no, it's fine.
Look at
You can pick Pepe up again if you want. See if that would do anything.
He's like, no.
Pepe will not be silenced.
No. Sing the song of your people, Pepe. Melly,
Yeah.
let him sing. Let him sing.
No, but before when you guys were talking about like the whole process of like being camera ready, I feel like it was more so a girl requirement. Like I was trying to not sound like super sexy when I said that, and I was like, there's no like politically correct way to.
No, I totally get that. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel about it too, because like, I mean, it is kind of sad. Like I don't wear makeup hardly at all. Like I only wear makeup every once in a while. But like I've had like some of my friends who wear makeup a lot, where they will be told like, "Hey, you look tired today." And it's like, I'm just not wearing any makeup, man.
Ash gets that all the time. She'll just like
Yeah.
in chat, "Oh, you look tired," and I was like, it annoys her so much, and like every
Ash
time
is
it
a
happens,
saint, by
we're
the
just
way.
like-
I
Ash is one of the most patient people in the
we
world.
always, whenever the mods see it, we all just like sit there and like, oh boy. I was like, you shouldn't have entered the chat like that.
But yeah, like I totally get that because I don't know. Like I think some people like are just more critical on it. I mean, the thing is that like for girl gamers, there's always gonna be like a weird issue with people, though. There's always gonna be something. I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I wonder how you guys feel about this. So I wasn't on the other end of this conversation, but my ASL told me this. So he got a customer in the other day that was getting Gears 5, who, as we all know, has a female protagonist named Kate. And this guy was
I watched
buying,
someone play
like-
that entire game through and I didn't know that, but okay. I guess I just wasn't paying attention.
Is it like a Metroid thing where like she's wearing like a?
No.
Okay, so Trev just didn't. Trev just
No.
TLDR'd the
It was
visuals
someone
of
I
it
mod for
particular.
too, which is even better. Like I didn't know there was someone named Kate in this game that I watched them play.
No,
For a
and it's just
long
Laura
ass time.
Bailey's voice
Oh.
throughout the entire thing, you know.
All right, well, carry on, Morgan. There's a female protagonist.
So apparently this guy just comes in, he's like wanting to buy this game. He's like, how many girls are actually going to play this game though? Like with this female protagonist. Like nobody's going to care. And I'm a fan of the Gears games.
Mhm.
And I just haven't played Gears 5. My friend Sedona loves the Gears game. I think she already had already finished it by the time this conversation even happened. And the guy like my ASL just goes, yeah, I know 2 girls like that actually work here that are super into that, and a couple of my friends have been playing it lately, and the guy did not believe him. It was wild.
How old was
Like,
this
he was like,
guy?
no,
Did he
no.
say?
I think he was in like his 30s. I want to.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like,
the
all
thing
right.
about guys like that is like when they're like 17, people are like, oh, you know, he's just 17, he'll grow up, and they
Yeah.
don't grow up, and then they just become 30, and they're the same dude. It's ridiculous.
I also feel like that particular problem is more of an older generation thing than it is now. Because like older generation, as we all know, had like the set roles for like each gender, and then like that was what they came up on believing. But now in 2019, anyone can be anything, anybody, whoever. If you want to be a tree, you can identify as a tree. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's also like there's a weird like sort of implication there that the guy is making, which is like if he's basically saying that if girls won't play the game, like let's say no girls played Gears of War, it's still not a problem to have a female protagonist.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, is that what he was asking? Was that why he asked if there were like, or was he just asking if like he knew if anyone knew if there were girls who played in Gears?
From the way that my ASL was explaining it, this guy sounded like pretty indignant. So he was like, "Are girls even gonna play this?"
Oh, so
Like, what
it sounded
girls
like he
actually
was like
play?
questioning why they had a female protagonist.
Yeah, it's like that's exactly what it was. It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's an interesting time. I'll never forget the time that a guy came in asking questions about Sony and Nintendo, which are like my 2 big things.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Listen, I know like you work here and everything, but like he's a guy. He's gonna know more about this." And I still can't believe that like that actually got said to me. Like I was working at GameStop. The guy that he was trying to talk to wasn't even working at the time. It's so interesting.
That's really irritating. That bothers me.
I
I don't remember
Yeah,
that story.
like
and it bothers
that bothered
fresh,
me, and
but-
that doesn't happen to me. Like it was like
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, so Zeus actually remembers me telling that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
I don't-
yeah, that's
I don't understand the mindset of somebody who would like walk
Mm-hmm.
into a place like that and just be like, "No, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the dude because he'll know more." Like no way, shape, or form would ever think or like be in a position where I'd walk into somewhere
mm.
and be like, "Oh no, I can't talk to."
Yeah, that's
a female
ridiculous.
about
And to
this, like,
express
that's-
it is really
Yeah,
bizarre
like-
too. Like to be
Yeah.
so proud of
It'd be one
being
thing
that
to
kind of
like
guy.
say it, but then like another thing to like actually believe.
Yeah, it is hella common, and it happens like
Mhm.
in the reverse too, like on the customer side sometimes. I had a friend who she was really into comic books, right? And she
Okay,
knew
yeah.
everything there was to know about Iron Man comics. Everything, right? And she'd go into comic book stores and the dudes who worked there would talk to her like she was a child and had never heard of or seen a comic book. And it was like
I
really
can
weird to
imagine
watch.
how this goes. It's just like walking in. Oh, so you know who this is? This is Iron Man. He has a suit
Yeah,
of
exactly.
iron. I was like, it's self-explanatory. It's like secondly, with the MCU out, it's like who doesn't know who these people are?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's oh my god.
I've
Okay, I gotta find a news story because I'm getting like hella frustrated here. Like,
Right,
We
yeah,
could
yeah,
talk
sure.
about mine because, like,
Yeah,
you
we
guys
can
were
we can
we're
transition
talking
into
about.
what's called.
oh, it's yeah. This is perfect
So
actually.
yours, I believe, is the one about. I don't remember because I didn't look at the title. I wanted
about
to
the
say it
Netflix
had
model
something to do
for
with-
games?
Yeah, Netflix and
Yeah.
Apple, wasn't it? It was like because they just released iOS 13, Which is amazing because they finally included dark mode and swipe, two things that should have been in like immediately, but took them 13 iterations to do. But
People are stupid. End of story.
So
so can one of you post the news article in the chat again? I'm just gonna say Morgan because she did it correctly last time.
Yeah,
For whatever
Morgan's got
Rory
it. I
wouldn't
think-
let her. Rory wouldn't let Rory post in the chat.
no
Yeah,
luck.
let me
Yeah.
scroll up real quick.
Oh,
So
okay,
it
no.
was-
Melissa
Mel got it, okay.
So if you guys want, you can follow along during this article as well.
The
I
so is Melly able to explain the?
Yeah, like,
explain
I was
what
like,
this is,
I
or
can
is
talk about it if
Pepe-
you want, but if you get a quiet moment, just go ahead and do it.
Having dog issues. Oh.
Wait.
Okay, I'm trying to distract him. So basically, this article.
I don't think it worked.
Oh my goodness. So
such-
basically, this article is. I'm having issues right now.
Okay, I just
Okay,
kind of
so-
quickly skimmed it, and then we can all talk about it as
The-
we go on.
So, like, do we want to talk about it now, or do we want to wait for Melly? I'm good with either.
We can just like slowly start going through it, and then if she does get a quiet moment, we can just
Yeah.
she'll just chime in.
So, basically, I mean, the title. Thankfully, it's like, the title and subtitle is kind of it's verbose enough that it sort of tells the story. One of the first things I actually found interesting about this article is that in the second paragraph they use the word calculus,
yeah,
which was a fairly interesting choice, and arguably used correctly. So like the idea, this has been around for like a little while, and it's had some different formats. The idea of having like a Netflix model for games, where you know pay some fee, like monthly fee, and then you get games in return. And the big drawback of that is that you won't own the games, like just like you don't own the shows on Netflix, you don't get to keep them.
Mhm.
But there's like a convenience trade-off. Like it's convenient and it's cheap. And I always say that like if you're gonna like take something away from the consumer, like if you're gonna have DRM in some form or something like that, you have to have something to give to the consumer. So like Steam is a form of DRM, right? Where you just buy these licenses, and oftentimes you'll need the Steam launcher to launch your game even offline.
Mhm.
But Steam offers something to the consumer. It has like a lot of great sales, right? It has like a respectable user interface. It has a shopping cart, unlike the Epic Games Store, which has no shopping cart, by the way. You need to buy items individually, which is insanity. Like, and yeah, I'm not really sure if it's a trade-off. For me personally, I'm like an old man, and I really like to own my games. I don't really feel comfortable like having this like temporary license for games, to be honest.
See, I'm the same because the reason why like there's the whole like trade-in thing that they have like going on at GameStop, and like that's nice for people that like to use it, but I almost never use it. I think maybe the only times that I've actually used it is if like for some reason I'm like, you know, I'm never going to play this game again for some reason.
Mhm.
Or if I'm gonna get like a new version of a game or something. It's like I don't need the older version of it. I'm gonna get the new version of it. That's the only time that I actually really do that, because most of the time I have like this feeling sometimes of me just like, oh, I really feel like playing this game again. It's like maybe I got this game like 6 years ago or 10 years ago, you know? It's like I still have it. It's still sitting right there on my I can't think right now, on my bookshelf, whatever. And like I can actually just go down, I can grab it and I can play it, you know? Versus like what you guys just said, like okay, like Netflix, like The Office is leaving Netflix, right? So it's like, how are you
Yeah.
gonna watch The Office if you don't have like the DVD set, right?
Yeah.
And like that I think would be like the really difficult part, because it's like, what if I really got into this game that I really liked, and I like Animal Crossing, for example, for me, you know, it's like I wouldn't want to lose that, and I think that's the issue that this would have. So, and it would be interesting to see, because I'm sure that there would be like, if it got successful, that there would be a bunch of other subscriptions for it,
Yeah.
like
That's
Netflix,
exactly what I was gonna say.
Hulu,
Well,
yeah, Disney
That's
Plus,
the problem
like,
with those, is that there's getting to be so many of them that it's becoming just like buying television again.
Yeah, it's gonna be just as expensive as having like a cable subscription for sure.
Yeah. So it's like,
I'll go
I'll
a
just buy
different
the game.
route because you guys kind
Okay.
of covered the other two
Yeah,
aspect, or the other aspect of this. I think this is a great chance for, like we were saying, like streamers. Because I know a couple streamers who use the Game Pass, and that's how they played Anthem, which, as we all know, was not worth $60 in the slightest.
Yeah.
So being
Yeah,
able
true
to,
story.
being able to pay $9.99 and play it beforehand, before having to spend the $60, just saved them $50.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good thing for maybe not like smaller streamers or like, you know, people who are like just starting, but like for those people who are like partner and just want to try things so they don't have to like fully commit to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
kind of idea I do like.
Well, especially if you're a streamer, like if you think about if you're like a really heavy streamer and you stream a lot,
Yeah.
like you're gonna get through games pretty quickly. And so, like, dishing out a new $70 every week is not going to seem very appealing.
Every game release is going to be a lot. So, like, having this
Yeah.
sort of subscription-based thing where it's like, it's kind of like the Redbox of gaming, even though Redbox does gaming, but it's like more geared. Do you guys remember GameFly? It'd be more like that.
Yeah.
I like the subscription model. So as someone who used MoviePass for like the short amount of time in which it was actually a decent service, like for me, I had a year-long subscription to MoviePass, which typically was like $9.99 a month before they went bankrupt, you know. But I really love the experience of being able to go to the theater as often as I wanted to and watching a film. Like I watched so many films that year that I normally wouldn't have had the opportunity to see. And so like I can see something like Game Pass being really beneficial. Like it does allow you to play all kinds of games that you typically wouldn't be able to play. Like, cause you know, if you have a limited budget, you're not going to be dropping hundreds of dollars every month on games.
Totally.
I think I know the perfect person this is for. This is for Gorg specifically.
For Gorg.
Because he's always starting games and never finishing them. And I think this would be perfect subscription-based thing for him.
I think the cinema would be a really good place for a subscription service, like where you could pay like a flat fee at the cinema, because like you don't own those movies anyways. You know what I mean? So you're not really losing anything. So I'd really like to see it there, actually.
Honestly, I think I'm in the school where I like being able to have both. Like, so whenever I purchase movies, which is very rare nowadays, but when I do purchase a movie, I do like to purchase it on Blu-ray, and I like to make sure that I have a digital. I have a digital copy of it as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I have it all integrated with like my Amazon and everything. So if I don't actually have to like use the Blu-ray. But I like having a physical copy of things. And I know that like you guys like to collect, you've got like collector's editions of steelbooks. Like it is nice to have like a nice physical copy of something.
100%.
But I think also like subscription models aren't going away either.
No, they're not.
Like for instance, like how
of subscription-based models as opposed to a decaying rate of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like PS Now it's not really comparable to
PS
Game
Now was their
Pass.
equivalent to Xbox's Game Pass, but a lot of people felt PS Now wasn't that great.
Honestly,
it was just like it's the older games on PS3 and then like some PS2 games or whatever.
The thing with PS Now that I usually don't recommend it. Because, like, if anything, I say, listen, because most of it is for the PS3 games. That's most of what it's for. Not all PS3 games are actually available on it in the first place. So what I actually usually tell people is, like, if you can, just get yourself a used PlayStation somewhere. Or, if you can find a new
Those
one.
are probably, like, dirt cheap by now, I imagine.
They're not that much. I mean, they're maybe, like, less than $120 probably for a good one. I mean, that's like buying at retail, for example.
Yeah.
Like what I usually tell people is like, get yourself an actual PlayStation 3 and then buy whatever games you want. Because the way that I look at it, if I remember right, PlayStation Now is like $44 every 3 months, which is like quite a bit.
I didn't know that was that expensive at that.
Yeah,
that's pricey.
Yeah. For
And
3
yeah, you
months?
can. Yeah, so every 3
That's-
months. Versus like if you look at it like 2 years down the line, like you're spending all of this money to have access to games that you might not play versus you could probably just buy yourself a PlayStation 3 and then buy the games that you would rather want and like play and have instead.
Definitely. I also think I've always believed that a PlayStation 3 is still a worthwhile investment.
Yeah.
Just
there-
because of
'cause
the
there's so
metric
many-
ton of games you can play on that.
Mhm.
We talked about this last week. It was like the
Steep, yeah.
dollar to value ratio.
Mhm.
It's like for,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
X amount of money, like games give you a lot of like interchangeability with time spent.
Because it's
Yeah.
like Netflix, you know, like or HBO. I guess that's like actually a really good example for this because for us, like for my family, we only got HBO for like a month and a half. It was like for whenever Game of Thrones was on, and then we would end it. That's the
Yeah.
only time that we had HBO.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're only watching, if you only have Netflix, so you can watch The Office, and that's it. It's like that's probably not a very good investment for you. It's like just buy the DVDs
Yeah,
at that
the
point.
DVD thing
Yep.
would be cheaper because it's a one
Mm-hmm.
time as opposed to month to month, and then
Hmm. And I know people who literally say like, "Oh yeah, all I watch on Netflix, The Office." Like that's what I do. Like, and not just The Office, but like for example,
I remember
Stranger
the
Things.
day on Twitter when they announced The Office was leaving Netflix. Like Twitter
Everybody
just
was in the uproar.
exploded. Everybody.
Yeah, The Office and
said about
Friends
it.
are really hard things to
Yeah.
get rid of on there.
Morgan, what you're saying with HBO is what I do with Game Pass. Yeah,
you continue when there's a game coming out. Yeah, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's another good thing about it too. It's like if you're buying the game and then like you decide you don't like it or whatever,
hmm
usually and within that time period you can like try to return it, but you won't get the same price or value for it.
Yeah.
Because like if you bought it new, for one, you've opened it, so now it's used, and then
Yep.
you have to do a trade in.
or you just can't take it back to whatever store you
Yeah,
got it from.
you-
Like I know, like
They'll
At least,
only
like-
do like exchanges as opposed to like, oh,
Mhm.
let me return it and then get money back. It's
yeah. Now, like say like GameStop for example, at least you can go and trade it in and then get some money back. Walmart though, Walmart will not take that back.
Yeah.
They will only take that game back if
if
you
it's
get.
unopened and
Well, they'll only. I think even then, like they won't. Like I want to say they won't take it back, but the only time that they will is if you need to get another copy of the same game. They won't even let you, like,
so
get
it's more of an exchange. Like
Yeah.
you
That's
need to have
wild.
this. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
IKEA's taking my mattress back.
yeah.
But yeah, like, cause that's something that I completely understand. Cause it's like paying $60 for a game, like, and then you end up not liking it at all. Like that feels terrible, you know? Especially when like you don't want to get like too into
like Sekiro.
So, yeah. Well,
Oh.
why'd you have to say that?
That was more directed towards Trevor, but yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
'cause
almost
have
beat
it,
the
remember-
game. All right, I got
Never
the
mind.
$60 value out of it. Well, not 60 because I got the collector's edition, but
I mostly got it for the collector's edition because that's mostly what I was looking for.
Let's be honest, y'all got it for the katana letter opener.
Oh
right?
man.
the letter opener. I was surprised I got mine.
But yeah, like paying $60 for a game that you end up not enjoying at all, like, and then you want to take it back, and it's like, like I'm not gonna get any value out of this now. See, like that's probably the good thing of like what this subscription would kind of be, because like again, like if there's a whole bunch of if there's a whole bunch of games that that you're able to play, like you can play one, you end up not liking it. At least on this subscription thing, you can go to a different one. So it's like Netflix, for
Yeah.
example. It's like I tried Stranger Things. I didn't like it all that much, but I went on to
Said no one ever.
yeah. But like maybe they went on to I'm trying to think of another like Orange is the New Black. I guess that's another Netflix one. That's an original.
Yeah.
Castlevania.
House of Cards, whatever. You know?
Marco
Yeah.
Polo.
Yeah.
Hemlock Grove. Yeah.
But it's like
Just
yeah, I
finders.
watched it's like I watched Stranger Things. It wasn't my thing, but I went on to this other Netflix original that's like just on Netflix, like, and I ended up really liking that. So like at least like you can do that with those kinds of subscriptions, which is nice. Versus, yeah, if you pay $60 for a game and you end up not liking it, you're probably
you
not going
only
to be able
have
to
the
take
one
that back.
disc. It's not like you can be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna put it in and play a different game on the
Yeah.
same disc. It's like that's not
No,
how it
exactly.
It's
works.
like-
Fallout 76 is not going to stop being Fallout 76.
It's not gonna
anytime.
suddenly be like, oh, this is Fallout 4 now because you didn't like Fallout 76.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
I
But-
did that and I hate myself for it.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's also geared more toward the people who like digital games as opposed to
Mhm.
physical ones. Because like there's a whole two sides to it. Like people who want to
Yeah.
own physical ones, and then people who think buying digital games isn't worth it because you're paying $60 for literally nothing. It's all like digital.
Yeah,
See,
it's
that's-
licensed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the issue that I usually have with digital stuff is because and again, I don't do much for like trading in stuff. But what I also like to do is like, okay, like I have my friend Cassie, you know, who lives right near me. So what I can do with her
That's two-finger
is like
typer for those of you who don't know.
Ooh.
Like,
oh, FT is what she wants to be called. But
like
so like with
PF.
her like with her oh my god. Anyways, with her, like for example, it's like if she wants to try out a game, like she wasn't completely sure about Borderlands. It's like, hey, you know, I have Borderlands 3 on disc. If you wanted to try it out, like you can borrow it if you want to. Like that's what's really nice about that.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I can just like give a game to somebody. Like my cousin Thomas and I have done that before. Cause like, maybe he's gotten like, cause like he was like overseas a while back, and he was like, hey, so I actually really wanted to play this game, and so I bought it for myself again. So that copy that I actually have in my room, you can just have it. So like that's nice because you can just go ahead and do that. Like if you just want to give games away to somebody, you can do that.
I think the counter for doing digital only is that you do get the game sharing option. So it's like you're really
That's
getting it
what I
for
think they
two
need,
for
yeah.
one as opposed to
In
just
terms of
having the
digital
one.
stuff, yeah, in terms of digital stuff, I think that is what's probably going to happen sometime soon. Because even though I don't like the idea of it, because I like collector's editions and I like having the physical boxes. Like I like steelbooks, you know, and I like
Same,
cover
like-
art and stuff like that. Yeah.
the fact that I
Um,
missed Bloodborne Steelbook because I didn't have PS4 at that time, like, hurts me. Like,
Harry, that's a good point too.
I've
Digital
looked on eBay just to
Yeah,
buy
that's a
the-
really good.
the-
Yeah,
the
that's a really
Steelbook.
good point, Ari. But yeah, like for me, like I like the physical stuff because I like collector's editions and I like cover art and stuff like that. But I can definitely see it sometime in the future. It probably is gonna go mostly digital. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, an Xbox came out that didn't even have a disc drive. So
Yeah, and I mean, like it makes sense that it would go that way just on a production standpoint, because who wants to spend money shipping out physical copies to people?
Yeah.
Like if you're an indie developer, you're not getting thousands of boxes printed, you know.
Yeah,
and
not for indies, like AAA.
like that's just
Yeah.
not going to happen. I mean, like I'm like I think a lot of us are kind of old school. I'm actually looking to try to find ways to get box art for my digital games, so I can like put them on a USB and like drop them into this box and have it on my shelf. Like that's where I'm at right
I
now.
mean, there's also the other side of that coin where it's like, yeah, they may be trying to move it to digital stuff, but I know, for example, Spider-Man's a great example because the collector's edition for Spider-Man sold out within like I think it was like that day.
it was
Yeah.
very quick.
Yeah, they
It
were
was
like, okay,
super
we're
fast.
out of them, and everyone's like, oh, are you gonna make more? I was like, no, we sold everything we had, and we weren't planning.
Yeah,
on
Ari,
making
you're
more.
right. The digital only did not sell that well.
No,
But-
and because I don't think we're there yet. Like I
Yeah, we're
think it'll take some time. I think
Maybe like
in a little
2030, but like not
Not
to
now.
Not
Once
to
all
I do
the
mention-
phone
think
jacks are
it was a
gone.
big deal though, like because like what the article pointed out that according to Microsoft, 3 million people got Gears 5 at launch because of Game Pass specifically.
Yeah.
So like
Yes.
to them, it was the biggest launch week
yeah.
of any Xbox like for this generation, which is so like you can't deny that.
I feel
That's
like
kind of like
that
that's where
might-
the future's headed. You
that
know what I
might
mean?
be an outlier though, just because that's a game that has 5 iterations in it. Like I wonder how different it would have been if they were doing that game and they were testing a game like Anthem that had no predecessor to it or
It's a
hype
good
behind
point.
it.
Well, yeah, because one of the stats that I heard about Borderlands 3 was how well Borderlands 3 has sold, right? On the Epic Game Store. And it's
Yeah, imagine
mean,
that's because the time
the thing
between
is, it's-
2 and
Ride or
2 and
die,
3 are
remember?
like
It's huge.
7 years, and people have been waiting.
It's got a
for
big
it.
fan base, and the time between the Epic Games release and the Steam release is massive.
Yeah, it's a year.
Right?
Isn't
Like
it?
it's huge. No, I think it's 6 months.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Does anyone know offhand? By the way,
Because I know back in the day, Rise of the Tomb Raider, it was a timed exclusive for a year. I
It
think.
was.
it
Yes.
was. That's
It was
right.
a-
For the Xbox, I
It was
believe.
11
And-
months, and that is the exact reason why I got myself an Xbox.
The
Not
They,
joking.
they did
That
that with
might-
Neo too. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
exclusive on PS4
PlayStation.
for a year.
I was gonna
and then it
say.
came to Steam.
I thought you were gonna say Xbox, and I was like, don't tell me a Japanese game was exclusive to the Xbox.
no.
Is that how many Xboxes they sell in
Lies.
Japan? None. It's like a few.
One thing I want to point out too, because Ari said that the Xbox without the disc drive didn't sell that well. I know for a fact the bigger reason why also, because we're not there yet with like everything being digital only, but not to mention like they started production on that when Xbox was pretty much starting, like Xbox One was pretty much starting to wane out. They're starting to get the next bigger Xbox out there. Like within, I think it's like the next year.
That was the
probably
One
gonna
S,
go.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an Xbox One S, and that came out after the X is the thing. And I don't know why they did it. Honestly, I don't know if they were like just trying it out or something, but
It might have been to combat Sony's version, because Sony has the Pro, the launch model, and the Slim.
no, I'm not talking about the X. I'm talking about like the disc,
The discless.
Oh, the
Yeah, yeah.
discless one,
the
yeah.
without
Okay.
yeah.
Also,
like, most people probably had like an Xbox One by then. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
and I mean, also Microsoft has had a lot of problem with disc readers in the past, so maybe their fix for that was like,
Yeah,
just
like,
get rid of it.
get rid of it.
We don't need it anymore. Yeah, we're going digital now. It's innovative.
But
yeah.
I'm gonna bring up Ash here because I know that she has an Xbox One, but she solely uses it as a Netflix machine.
That's what I do. Yeah, that's
and then
literally mine.
there are people.
I don't
who-
know if I've ever
who will
seen her ever use
solely
that.
use it as like a DVD
Did she
player
play
or
Ori?
something.
Did she play Ori and the Blind Forest on that, or is that a PC?
She played that
one?
on PC,
Yeah,
but
I'm
she
pretty
used,
sure it
I
was
think
PC.
she used an Xbox controller. I think.
To be honest, the Xbox One X didn't even make sense to me with them saying
We're making a new gen. You can't just go and announce
yeah.
something like that and then not back it up.
I love the weird presentation too, with all the technical terms that no one that isn't a computer engineer would understand. Just like this guy just starts reading off tech specs. I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah.
I
that's
just
not
realized
what's gonna do it, dude.
we haven't even talked about Google Stadia yet because, like, I'll be
Yeah.
interested to
I was
see how
just about to
that.
bring that up.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, the because that one is streamed, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that you actually
Mhm.
stream the games. So like that's like if you have a rocky internet connection.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I
Get
know
fucked, I
I know
guess.
it's Google, but like, can they really cater to people who have like shit internet? Like,
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see because like anybody, at least where I'm from, we have a lot of wide open space where I'm from. Quite a few people that come into my store talk about like because they want to like get an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4 or something, and they'll say like, okay, do I need a Wi-Fi to be able to play these games? I'm like, most of the time, no. But if you're gonna get a PlayStation or an Xbox One, you have to have internet for the first initial setup. And if you want to do any sort of updates, which you need to do every once in a while for both
Yeah.
your games and your system, you're
Need
gonna need
internet.
internet at one point. So like at least they can like take their system and like to like I don't know grandma's house or whatever, like and do that, or take it to a friend's house that has internet. Like I know a lot of people that that have like almost dial-up internet or like what's it called, like HughesNet, if you guys know what that is. HughesNet's like mostly for like people who like they live like way out in like the boondocks basically
Yeah.
and can't get like a stable internet connection out there, and even then like even though they have that, it doesn't work all that great, so they can't really play online games all that much. So that'll be interesting for those kind of people because there's a lot that don't really have stable internet connections to be like needing the stable internet connection just to be able to play their games in the first place.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what you guys do when the internet goes out, but playing games is a great thing to do when the internet goes out
Mhm.
ordinarily. And if your internet goes out all the time because you're on what's functionally a dial-up connection, then yeah, that's kind of like great if you live in South Korea, but otherwise, like, you might have some trouble. Yeah, see, the thing about what I was saying earlier, like, there's a trade-off.
Nintendo
right?
Switch.
Yeah, really. When you get stuff like this, there should be like because they're taking something away from the consumer, right? They're taking your ability to own games. They should be giving you something significant. I'm not sure if what Google Stadia is giving is significant enough. But
that's the perspective I was hit it from too. I was like, I don't know because like if it's all gonna be streamed, it's like one, like we were saying, you need a really decent connection, and secondly, it's like how much do you think this is gonna be? Where it's like, because essentially it's letting you play all these different games, and if games now are rated at like $60, I'd assume it has to be a decent price enough for them to make money off the $60 games that they're letting everyone try.
Yeah,
that's
be
the
interesting.
thing. You have to buy the games too.
Yeah.
And is it going to be like?
Stadia.
Is it? Do we know if the Google streaming service or games is going to be like? Is Google starting to make games now, or is it going to be just like games that come out? Like, are they going to?
I
put,
think
like,
it's any game
Borderlands and like COD and games like that on there.
I don't know if they're going to do any original games. That's an interesting point.
I know for sure that Shantae 5 is going to be on Google Stadia. That's the only one that I know.
Stadia, I think it's November is when it's officially launching. Is that?
I think because I know, like, again, like with Shantae, that's actually one of the ones that I know for sure. Like, because the new Shantae, because I'm a huge Shantae fan. The new one that's going to be coming out, I know for sure. They're like, yeah, it's going to be out on PS4, Xbox One, PC, Nintendo Switch, and Google Stadia. And from what I heard, they said it's still going to be coming out in late 2019 for that game. So it's got to be like one of the first launch games, I want to say.
Yeah, and for some games, so this was like this came up as a minor problem with the PlayStation Classic. So with the PlayStation Classic, if you guys remember that, or if you guys bought it somehow, there was a fighting game on it. There was Tekken 3, but it ran at an inferior frame rate. That is literally an unacceptable way to play a fighting game. Like, that flies in every other genre except fighting games. So if you're going to play a fighting game on Google Stadia, you need 60 frames a second because the unit of fighting games on which they're balanced and designed is frame data. So moves in fighting games, there's 20 frame moves. There's 15 frame moves.
Every fighting game I've played, when you are on the combo list, it'll tell you how many frames it takes to execute that combo.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Like Mortal Kombat for Scorpion's Teleport Punch, it's like, oh, this is going to be 6.34 frames. So
exactly.
You need that many. But like if you're getting frame rate like problems,
you're done. You can't play your fighting game. Like, that's going to be like, I don't know if any other genres are that specific because I play fighting games, so I know them in that way. But maybe, I don't know, racing games or something might have like. I think racing games are considered a bit passe now. I kind of miss them, to be honest. The $6 price tag I expect on games, but I also feel like it makes it hard for me to play as many games because I'm so fine with it if it's a decent subscription service. Yeah.
That's what I would say. Like, if it's gonna be a decent price along with some pretty good games, I mean, I'm up for trying anything. Like, I'm excited to see like what it's gonna be like.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, like that's probably going to be the hard part. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of price point they would put on this, because a lot of these games are like 60, like at least $50 to $60 games usually.
And I feel like with the next gen, they're going to go up, because like every
I wouldn't be surprised.
They've gone.
Well,
because
also
back in the day with PS2, it was like $20 for every single game on PS2, and then like
$30.
Yeah,
maybe.
then 30. Once they raised it to 30, everyone's like, "This is outrageous! I'm not paying $30." And here we are paying $60.
Well, like, I remember a Final Fantasy VII. It was like three or four disc game, and that was maybe $50.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was like a lot because it was a huge game. You know?
I had that back in the day on the PlayStation. I also like. I don't mean to like imply something like insidious on the part of Google here. But Google is also, like, Google Fiber is still an active company, even though they're having some difficulty. And, like, wouldn't it be just perfect if you were selling a games console that is based entirely around an internet
Google
connection?
Fiber.
And you're like, hey, if you don't have a good enough internet connection, it doesn't work properly. Maybe check out Google Fiber.
Yeah, they're like, call. No, they're
Oh
like,
my
we'll do a
God.
network test, and then they'll run
Yeah,
a test.
exactly.
Like, yours isn't up to standard. You might want to consider switching to Google Fiber.
Yep. Like,
800
and
numbers.
also,
Like,
Very
what?
yeah.
like it could get even rockier. Like, for instance, I was playing in Darker Days NBA 2K17 because I got it for free.
2K17, damn.
and
Dark times.
so I started one of the things I started the game, and it was like you can scan in your face. I was like, exceptional. I'd love to do that. I'd love to become an NBA player and live out that 6-year-old Rory dream, which was actually my dream when I was a 6-year-old. If you were wondering, I'm 5'6", by the way.
And you hadn't watched Space Jam, and your dream
And I had not watched. I
your
not even
dream
watched
would be,
Space Jam, The Essential Training. And so like, and I was like, okay, I'll scan my face in somehow. I was thinking it would use like my webcam or something, but no, I had to get the NBA app or something, right? So wouldn't it be interesting if this Google Stadia, hey, you might want to use your Google Pixel phone to connect with your Google Stadia, and then you could, I don't know, send your friends messages or some bullshit like that. Like Google has enough of an ecosystem that they could just start selling. Once they've sold you one thing, they could just start selling you other things nonstop.
Space Jam not a real dream. I'm done.
Yo, Space Jam was like
Though, like-
everybody's life.
Like Ari, I'm getting Disney Plus because we already pay for Hulu, so like that actually is good for me because like them doing like Hulu and Disney Plus together for like $12.99.
Yeah,
Like-
because they own them.
Yeah, of course they do. They own everything. They own everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it also means that it's probably they don't have to do like a lot of the startup. I assume of starting a streaming service is getting server space for your streaming service because you need a lot of it. But like they're just like, hey, we got Hulu stuff already. Let's just use theirs.
So 2 points. First point, I can see a parallel between this Google thing and like you were saying, oh, you need the Google Pixel and Google Fiber and like
Yeah.
whatever to run it.
Yeah.
That's not that far from what Nintendo's doing. Because with Nintendo, like all their devices are interconnected as well in some way, shape, or form.
That's an
Yeah,
interesting point,
mhm.
actually. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like in order to talk with your friends, and I think some games, but it's mostly third party. Actually, I think it's all third party free games that allow you to have in-game voice chat now. But like any of the other games, like Mario Kart, I think, and Splatoon, especially, in order to talk
Smash as well.
Smash Bros. Yeah, in order to talk in game, you have to be set up like with your phone on the app, and which is ridiculous because you have to have all these ports plugged into your stuff, and it's.
Did you read the thing about?
Interesting.
They had a defense for that. They were like, "Well, the thing about your phone is that, most people they always have their phone on them, so it's not much of an inconvenience." I'm like, "Oh, you know what? People on the Switch also have on them the Switch. Maybe put some damn voice chat in that, Reggie."
Hi, Bam.
Bam! You've been busy with Gorgusan.
Gorgusan. But yeah, like I thought that was super weird because like the whole point like with Xbox and and PlayStation is that you have the in-game or you have the system voice chat that you can at least do.
I thought
And then you
thought that
can-
was just gonna be the standard for like gaming from now.
You would have thought, right?
Because with PS3, I don't know if any of you remember, PS3 back in the day did not have party chat.
No.
It was all just in-game voice chat.
It was in-game voice chat.
So it was
That's a good
really,
point. Yeah.
really sketchy when you would go into like I used to play a lot of COD back in the day. It'd be really sketchy when you go into lobbies and it's just like random people with mics and like the first thing you hear is really racist terms or like hate crimes. and
Yo,
stuff.
mama.
Yeah. And it's just like,
Yeah, now with Nintendo, like previous systems never required it. Now I can't understand why they're doing it because Xbox and PlayStation have been doing it for years, so I understand why they're wanting to get on.
They couldn't not do it.
Yeah, also,
I
PS3
do
didn't used to do that either.
yeah,
which was
PS3
interesting.
was
And
all
then-
free. And
Yep.
then
Yeah.
the next gen, they were like, okay, now you need a
Yeah.
That's another big
So-
plus of PC, by the way, is that
Yeah, since you're always
don't
on there,
have to
it's like
be
you
online.
don't need. A
I've talked
subscription.
about that before,
The,
actually.
the only thing is you need to pay for your internet bill. That's about it.
That's
But,
it.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
exactly,
what I
yeah.
If
really
you're not
like
doing
about
that, you gotta sort some other things out.
Mhm.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's like I already paid for the internet. I already paid for the PlayStation. I already paid for the game. Like now I gotta
exactly.
now I gotta pay to be able to play
I
the
think-
game.
And what you're
online.
paying for is rather nebulous. Like it's like what is it going to?
I want
like,
to say there's
steal internet from your neighbor. That is such a good point, Bam.
There's a handful of games that don't require PlayStation Plus to play it with people, but it's very few. I've heard of a couple, but I don't know what they are offhand. I just know that not every single game requires you to have a PS Plus, but like the games that do are like games that
Fortnite.
no one would play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
like
Fortnite, you don't have to have. I think most of the free games you don't have to have PlayStation Plus. Now Xbox though, I'm pretty sure you have to have Xbox Live though.
that's interesting because I would have thought Epic would just take on the extra cost themselves because they got all that money.
Now, I could be wrong. Now I know a long time ago because some of my friends played Fortnite with me when I was not a Fortnite player.
Morgan,
but,
you
like,
played Fortnite.
This is a very
How have we
different
not
version
talked
of
about
Morgan.
this? How have we not
Uh,
talked about this?
Yeah,
I played-
how did I let you on this cast knowing not knowing that you were an ex Fortnite player?
So I played Fortnite with my friends only. I didn't play it on my own. And that was only until I found a game that we would play, and that's actually when I started playing Friday. Actually, I just stopped playing Fortnite. I also played Fortnite with my little cousin too, but he
That's a
he-
good reason to play
Yeah.
Fortnite, though.
Yeah, he no longer likes Fortnite though, which killed me one
That's
day.
a good cousin.
Oh my god, he made me
Realized it
laugh
was
so
bad,
hard.
and I was like, all right.
How
cool.
did he get over
Ow.
Fortnite? I need to know this.
Oh wait, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Okay, he's like 9, and he's a good kid. So he would invite me to his PlayStation chats all the time. And most of the time I'd be like, okay, bud, I'm gonna leave, okay? Because there'd be like 9 other kids in there just talking away. And one day, like I was just playing, like I was just talking to him for a little while. And I'm like, hey, bud, so how's Fortnite going? Because, like, this was the kind of kid that, like, when I was playing Fortnite with him, he's like, I have this skin, I have this, and I have this. And it was, like, $200 probably worth of stuff.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
all those V
and then
bucks?
Fortnite is a cash
Yeah.
cow.
and then one day I was talking to him. I'm like, hey, bud, so how's Fortnite going lately? He goes, I hate Fortnite now. I play Apex.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He evolved. He evolved.
Did
as a
this come with
gamer.
age? Was he 10 when you asked him that time?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what happens. That's the
He ascended into
timeline
enlightenment.
growing up.
He's like
Like,
11 now. I should ask him what he's playing.
It's okay when you're 9, but once you hit double digits, it's like, man, I need
Morgan
to,
was a
I need to
heathen.
man the fuck up.
Fairhost, how are you?
My parents sucking at Fortnite helped me get over
Hey,
it.
can I just formally, on behalf of all of us, say, Fairhurst, if you ever want to be on this
Yeah.
chat show, we'd love to have you on sometime.
Fairhurst, throw in the chat what time it is for you right now, because I know you're. I know you have a Scottish
In
accent.
Scotland.
but-
Do we have
I think Fairhurst is
caster
from
commands?
Glasgow.
Oh, it's 4 a.m.
Fairhurst, are
Okay.
you from Glasgow? Do I have that right?
Do we have caster
No, I
commands?
meant to add them, but hold on, let's see.
Dang it.
I can do it now.
Oh, do we have Nightbot now?
I can do it like in 2 seconds.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's late for
Live.
Fairhurst, but you know what else? Fairhurst is up, so he's
That is
clearly
true.
awake at this
Yeah.
time.
He could
and
be
we can
he could
hold
be
him
on
to that.
the Arrow schedule. If any of you know
Yeah, I mean-
aerodynamics.
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
always on.
aerodynamics.
and
yeah.
we have been on for a good while, so
That's true. The
at least that.
I wanted to mention something actually, because we were discussing, service Netflix for games and services like that. Another thing we have a lot of these days is game launchers.
Oh yeah.
One might say too many, specifically me. I would say too many. And we're gonna get another one. We're gonna get the Rockstar Games launcher, which is thoroughly unnecessary and totally unjustified. And,
And
there's
this is
not
a
even
nice segue into
yes.
Rory's
Yeah, this was my topic that I picked
Hey,
out for
so
today.
also,
Yeah,
you
what's
might
up?
want. No, not you, Rory. So you might want to take off no links on that.
Oh, is that why? I'm like, how
That's
come it's not showing
that's
one
what
of Fairhurst's
happened.
pages?
Yeah, follow Fairhurst at the Asterisks.
Yes,
it's very
please.
important. Why is there so many launchers? I have no idea. Like, I genuinely don't know, because if you're starting a launcher, you're taking on a lot of extra stress to do in-house software development. Like, why bother? It's like, so if you're paying for things through a service, right? If you're using your credit card, you as a company have to find a way to deal with the fact that you have credit card information coming in, right? And then you got to deal with PayPal or whatever else. Like, why not do that and just throw it on over to Steam, who does it every day? It has been doing it for years. But Rockstar has decided to ignore that advice, so they're going to have their own launcher. It does have cloud saves and a shop, so it already has more than the Epic Game Store has, or at least had when it launched. And you can use your already existing Rockstar login, which you totally have and remember the password for. And I'm really frustrated when companies don't make a lot of games or don't publish a lot of games, and they have their own launcher.
I feel like it's a little like odd.
Know. As long as they don't make stuff exclusive, I'm cool. Like, me and the Bethesda game launcher, we're cool, because I think the only exclusive thing they have Fallout 70 is Fallout 76, and
that's not something you're like up in arms about. So.
Who cares? Like,
honestly, like, I like having one launcher. That's what I like about PC. Like, that's what I like about Steam, because there's literally thousands of games you can choose on there.
Well, there's the beta.
Are you guys gonna get the GOG?
Well, that's
Galaxy 2.
That's what I was
just about to talk about that. Yeah, because that just entered the beta officially.
Rory let me know. That's how we got on that he was a Russian sleeper agent, because he sent me the link in Russian.
I didn't give Trev the link in English. I left it in Russian for some reason. I was like, "Hey, Trev, here's the link." He was like, "I can't read."
I was like, "You read Russian?" I was like, "What's going on?"
It does seem like it'd be overwhelming if you're like Dale and have 625 games in your library.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know we knew somebody who got into that beta, but I was like, I couldn't remember.
I have buddies who got into that. It's like a clever. For those who don't know, like, GOG is like one of my favorite services ever. It gives you its whole premise is DRM free games. So once you download the game, you own it. You don't need to connect to the internet to play it. You have the option of doing that if you want like updates for ongoing games like No Man's Sky or whatever. Which if you got No Man's Sky, you really do need the updates.
Yeah.
But like, you could put the game on a USB stick if you want and give it to your friend, and then they can play it.
That sounds like piracy. I'll be honest.
But it's voluntary, right? All the publishers sign up for it. So it's like the old school days of PC gaming. And they've also done a lot of work to make sure that a lot of the games run on Linux, which is really cool.
I don't know who's buying Linuxes just to play games on. I imagine. Well,
I mean, if you have Linux and you want to play games, then you need to reevaluate. Like, this guy here, my laptop here uses Linux, and I do not play games on it for that reason. But it's a really cool service in that way. And in the spirit of what they do which is very consumer. Oh, by the way, it's the same company. CD Projekt Red is the same company as GOG. Like, they're owned by the CD Projekt banner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because when I was on their site, I saw a lot of CD Projekt Red related stuff on sale.
And they always have Witcher stuff on sale. And if you buy Cyberpunk on GOG, all your money goes to the developer, which is really cool. Because
I'm gonna remember that.
Own it. So exactly. That's where I'm going to be getting it for that reason, actually. So in the spirit of what they do, which is very consumer friendly stuff, they have this thing, GOG Galaxy, which is their launcher. But the second version of it, GOG Galaxy 2, unifies your different launchers and unifies your friends list. And it's not just PC; it's for consoles as well. And I think that that's great. And I'm sad that we need that, but I'm happy we have it.
Wouldn't that be the whole reason? Isn't that going against the whole reason why everyone launched their own launcher to begin with? Was so that Steam wasn't monopolized in being the only launcher that was available?
Yeah, kind of is.
Isn't that
actually
kind of like a one step forward, two steps back situation where it's like, oh,
it's
we're
two
making
steps
all
back
these
for the people making the launchers.
Yeah,
but it's 10 steps forward for the people who consuming the launchers.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's kind of one of the things I didn't like about. I know I've probably talked ad nauseum to all of you about why I don't like the Epic Game Store, but for those of you who are here who don't know my opinion on this, the thing that really gets me is like competition is supposed to benefit the end user. Like that's the principle of competition is like who can give the user the better experience. But the Epic Game Store and similar services are all just like, no, we can buy exclusives. So that's why we get to have our launcher. And that's not beneficial to anybody.
Mhm.
So I'm really happy to subvert that with a GOG Galaxy. I'll be interested to see how the beta goes actually and see the reviews. Hopefully it's awesome.
I always have like a crisis of conscience anytime Epic is like, oh, we've got all these games for free, like the Arkham games that just came
like
out.
so I
Yeah.
just yesterday, it was either yesterday night or like this morning, I actually went and added all those games to my library, even though I deleted the Epic launcher from my
Yeah.
I don't think I have Epic Launcher.
I don't think I
have
do.
to have it. Because
no,
the Unreal Engine is tied to the Epic launcher.
I think I do have it actually. Yeah, it's right here.
And if you have the Unreal Engine to like for like game development purposes, you have to have the Epic launcher, which makes me sad.
No one needs a WB and an NBC streaming service. Yeah, like honestly.
Yeah. That's
CW.
See, like now, like I'm mad.
Nelly?
I'm mad, guys, because
Nelly, do not talk trash about my beloved teen drama sci-fi shows. Okay? I love them all.
Listen, I will
talk-
be done with the CW once Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and the Flash ends.
I do love me
Which
some
is coming
Flash,
up,
so I can't talk bad about CW.
Shout out to anyone who's a
No.
fan of the 100, by the way.
Nessie, I'm mad because, and I knew this was gonna happen, but with the NBC, with the, I think it's the NBC one, because with The Office leaving, I knew that Parks and Recreation was gonna be one of those because that's a Michael Schur show.
Oh, did it get taken off too, or it's going to be taken off
It's
as well?
it's gonna be taken off, I think, around October of like 2021.
That's
So
like
that's a long time, but still means it's getting taken
that was
off.
like when they
CBS
did
is
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get it like on
Marvel
Blu-ray sometime before then. So.
Yeah, the Marvel stuff. Yeah,
They,
exactly.
they,
'cause
they
that's all-
canceled all those, and they're gonna release it on whatchamacallit.
Oh, because I guess so. I was wondering about this, and I was wondering if any of you know the answer. So, like Disney owns Marvel, right?
Yes.
So, or
Correct.
like these Marvel products at the very least. So, what they can do on their streaming service is they can do all the superhero shows, right?
Mhm.
Who has the rights for like the Defenders or Luke Cage?
I think that still fell under Marvel, because you know how Sony owns
Because
Spider-Man.
Netflix
Good night,
produced
Lonnie.
all of those.
Good night,
Yeah.
Lonnie.
Oh yeah, later on, Lonnie. Well, carry on, Trev.
But I think it's one of those situations where it was all owned by Marvel. They just got the not rights, but like they got permission,
The licensing?
to use those characters in a show for that. It's kind of like think Sony and Marvel, how they had that picture deal and then
Yeah.
it ended.
Yep.
But it's kind of similar to that, and then how Fox they just bought out Fox for Fantastic Four and X-Men.
All the Netflix originals get to keep the shows they produce. Oh, okay. So if
Yeah,
that's
Netflix
true,
was keeping those. Yeah.
that's good. Because I'd prefer that. But yeah, I was wondering about the fate of those. But yeah, a lot of stuff is going to move because they have so much Fox material too. Yeah, CBS has their own streaming service. So if you really want to watch Young Sheldon or I don't know, 2.5 Men's not a thing anymore, right?
No, that ended a while ago.
Okay. Yeah.
See, Ari, like, I totally agree with that because, like, I know like everybody's freaking out over like Spider-Man and everything.
I
I'm
did
like,
this whole
honestly,
rant in Tiff's chat or Discord.
Yeah.
it's like honestly, I don't care what they do as long as I'm able to get Marvel Spider-Man 2 for the PS4
Boy, I think that's all separately. That's done
or
by
whatever's gonna
Insomniac,
be. I mean, if
so
it's gonna be on the PS5, I don't care
Yeah.
as long as
Who
I
even
can.
watches Young Sheldon?
as long as Marvel
Nobody,
Spider-Man 2
Ari,
comes out,
nobody.
we're
Nobody.
fine.
Can I just say, Ari is my hero. Like, I also like. I don't need X-Men in the damn MCU. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand that X-Men is not everybody's favorite thing at this very moment.
I thought
Uh,
the movies they had going were fine.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're
Mm.
canceled, like I thought the what's his name, James McAvoy.
McAvoy.
McAvoy, yeah.
I thought he was a perfect Professor X, and then I thought
Exceptional. Michael Fassbender
Yeah,
is
Michael
a
Fassbender great Magneto.
tier
is
Magneto.
my favorite. Yeah.
Michael Fassbender is one of my favorite actors. Like,
Yeah.
period.
Mhm.
Like, The
Yeah, I thought those were pretty solid movies, honestly.
And like
Yeah.
you can tell, like me and Melissa, I don't know if you guys have seen Dark Phoenix, but
I haven't yet.
We have.
I love
And-
the Dark Phoenix idea. I love the
Yeah,
storyline.
like,
I love the X-Men, by the way.
I love the comic for it, but
Mm.
that movie felt kind of rushed. And I know it was because they had to get it out before they got transferred to the MCU. But yeah, like I feel like
Yeah.
if they just let them do their own thing, it would have been better than if they had
Instead of
rushed
trying
it.
to
totally.
rush and end whatever story they were trying to tell over.
The X-Men is like one of the main reasons I care about. I actually do love the X-Men, but I'm always a DC guy. But one of the things is like that I really can't stand. I'm sorry, I like the MCU, but I'm gonna complain about it here. I'm tired. I'm tired of every character becoming the same character.
Wait, what
like,
did
this
this
is-
even say?
He spam caps. That's
Ah.
yeah. You're gonna have to go into Nightbot and just make sure to like turn
Yeah,
off.
don't worry, Trev. I've been there.
Yeah, we had this
This
problem
is a
when
new
Rory
channel.
shot the
I
other
just
day.
assumed it
Yeah,
was it was all good.
This happened the first day I had Nightbot, but like the MCU has this remarkable way of like as the movies go on, they make every character the exact same character. Like almost every male character in the MCU has the exact same sense of humor, and it drives me up the wall. Like they make all the same jokes. If you give me a quote right now from an MCU male
You're good
character,
now. I disabled all of it.
you could not tell me what character that quote came from. If it's like quippy and witty and stuff like that, it could have come from any of them.
Yeah, okay, I see. The tone is what you're saying. Is the tone is
tonally
very
it's the
similar
same.
throughout
Yeah,
the
exactly.
vast
Yeah,
universe they have.
It's
Yeah,
interesting
exactly.
because there were some people talking about how they really would love it if like Deadpool would get into the MCU, and I'm like, honestly, I like
that
what
would
he is.
ruin it because Deadpool was the first one was what, rated R, right?
Both of them are rated R. And they
well,
gotta
yeah,
stay
well, they
rated
came out later with a PG version for
PG-13,
like
I think it was,
Christmas
yeah.
or whatever.
there's a PG-13 version of Deadpool.
Yeah, I never
they
I
cut
bet
out,
that sucks.
they cut out like half an hour of it or something. But what makes
just need
Deadpool
Loki.
is the ability to be rated R and get away with it.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
I like where they are. I actually like with like no, even though like Deadpool with like the X-Men and everything is different from like where they are with the X-Men movies. Although they did kind of do a nod to that though in Deadpool 2, didn't they? When he's like, "Where is everybody?" And we saw the whole cast and they're just like they just closed the doors.
Yeah. There was like this is a pretty big house for just the two of you living here, and like they're in that one room. And there's like,
Zeus, I don't want that to be true. Deadpool is the greatest redemption story ever told. Not for Deadpool himself, but for Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my God. Poor Ryan. Like Wolverine origin. Like I know like people like that movie. Like my mom likes that movie and everything. Like it's
Well, Hugh Jackman as
Okay.
Wolverine is just. I think he was a great casting for that role. Like when you think of
yeah.
roles, like
Yeah,
oh my
perfect. I
God.
agree.
Mhm.
like
But, like-
Wolverine and Hugh Jackman is like Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr.
But like X-Men Origins Wolverine, that was an okay movie. But like what they did to Deadpool,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh
that was.
God.
As somebody who knew who
thing
Deadpool was before watching that movie and seeing what happened to him, I was like, who is this? I was like, this is
I'm like,
Deadpool.
what did they do to Deadpool? Well, and the thing is that Ryan Reynolds was really angry about that too because he had wanted to be Deadpool for like ever.
Yeah.
If I remember right, like one of the things is that that he remembers is there was a comic book strip with Deadpool talking about like what he looked like under his masks because somebody was like, "What do you look like under there?" And he's like, "I look like Ryan Reynolds, like mixed with a Shar-Pei dog." And one of his friends sent it to him, and he was like, "I gotta be Deadpool." And so he always like wanted to make it happen. And then it happened. He was so excited, and then it just
But
completely
yeah,
got
it
messed
didn't
up.
happen the way he wanted it to happen.
And then he made fun of it
Yeah.
in that movie. It was the best. I never actually saw Logan, believe it or not. And
I didn't
Morgan,
either.
I liked it.
it's so good.
I liked it.
I
see
need
it.
to watch it. Yeah,
Yeah, there was
Rory, that can be one of the things that we do. You can
I like
watch
that
Logan.
there
idea.
was a ban on that game with Nolan North. I don't know if any of you remember that Deadpool game that came out in like 2013, but
Yeah, I
you-
actually
you
watched my
actually,
cousin play a little
You
bit.
actually can't play that anymore. It's like impossible to buy because there was like some. It was,
Really?
There was some like legal issue with it right now, where it's like,
No, I mean we
Interesting.
definitely go to GameStops. We have them there.
well, like you can't buy new, like you can't buy it on like
oh, new
Steam or
copies.
something.
Yeah,
or, like,
no, I don't
they
think
took it
so.
off everywhere. Like if you find a physical one, you can get it, but if you're
Yeah.
trying to get it other forms, you won't be able to get it.
Y'all got to see Logan.
Okay, hold up. I'm just curious as to why an expired contract between Marvel Studios and Activision. Wow, Activision loves their expired
Oh,
contract.
interesting.
Shout out to Destiny, by the way. Yeah, all right, yeah, that's what did it. So see, it's not just digital games that are vulnerable to disappearing completely off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Also, yeah,
didn't,
far away
Logan
Melanie?
didn't Logan get nominated for like best screenplay or something for an like it's a legitimately
It was
good
It probably
movie.
did.
And
Yeah.
it is a good movie. I don't remember if it did. I didn't
not-
bet on it because I bet on the Academy Awards every year.
Yeah, I'm
I've
not one of those
never-
people who watch. I'll watch like the music awards every so often, like the BETs or something. But I'm not watching like the Oscars or anything.
Uh,
was
best
Best
adapted,
Adapted
screenplay.
Screenplay.
Yeah.
I'm not like into
Um,
movies that way, but yeah.
Let's see what won that year. Yeah, Call Me by Your Name. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good movie though. So
Also, The Disaster Artist was nominated that year, and that was a really good adapted screenplay, actually. That's a really good movie, by the way. If you've seen The Room and you're
Okay,
curious as to
so
how-
the other point I was gonna bring
The
up
Room.
a while ago, I mentioned this
Mm-hmm.
before, and then since we're on the topic of movies now, because we mentioned that everyone was up in arms about whatever that happened on Twitter. Recently, everyone was up in arms on Twitter again, but this time for a good reason, because somebody said, I think it was somebody at Sony said they wanted to remake The Princess Bride. I don't
Yep.
know if any of you saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Saw that.
And everyone was like,
I
do not touch
I
it.
can't get behind
Do
that.
not touch that movie.
I
Even
cannot
even
get
Jamie Lee
behind that.
Curtis, who was like, as somebody who married the Six Finger Man, I'm telling you, this is not something you want to do.
I can say, so since this movie is a live action movie, I've actually seen it. It was one of my childhood favorites.
Yay, Rory!
It's exceptional.
so
I'm really
proud
good
of
with
you.
live action movies, right? Of course. 'cause it
And
was
to
on
tie that into
very one
Deadpool,
point in my life.
Deadpool 2 actually had the kid from The Princess Bride in the same set of his bed, and then like he was being like forced there against his will,
Yeah.
and all the promotion stuff.
Can never remember if I watched that movie. Airy.
Ari, you'd love it. It's terrific. Everyone.
It is
Yeah.
such a good movie. Honest to God, I'm
ROUSs.
I'm actually being serious. I have only met people who have either never seen it, or just have watched it and loved it. Those are the only people that I've actually met.
I don't
know
think I've ever met
anybody-
somebody who said I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, I know nobody who has said, "Yeah, Princess Bride is stupid."
Because if,
like, I've
if
never
you do
met
meet
anybody
somebody
like
who
that.
says The Princess Bride is not worth it or not a good movie, you need to stop talking to them immediately, because that's not the kind of
Yeah.
negativity you need in your life.
Yeah, I've never heard that sentence either, and I know some pretty horrible people. So the I think it's safe to say you didn't.
Like, I like to try to give things a shot, but you
Mm.
know, like there are just some things that don't need to be remade. You know, they're just
Ghostbusters is
Yeah.
one of those things, and then you saw how that went a couple of years
I
ago.
think-
Back to the Future. You do not need to remake.
I think
that.
certain stuff
Jurassic
just doesn't
Park,
need to be
I
remade
feel like
yet. I
didn't need
think
to be made.
I actually think the video game industry is more of a perpetrator of this than the film industry is. Like,
Yeah.
I understand the convenience of having a game on like a new console and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but it's weird for me when like a PC game gets like remade, and I'm
Like
like,
Skyrim?
I don't need the more amazing Skyrim might be the
9 different
perfect
times.
example. Yeah, like
I don't know. I really
Oh,
like how
Aaron,
they
don't-
remade the Resident Evil game.
don't get me started, Ari, on all the like the live action. Like some of them are fine. You know, like the Cinderella one. I actually do not. Counts
I'm never
as a
gonna
live
watch
action
any
remake?
of those remakes of Disney.
yo, shout out to Beast, another Animorph series. I agree.
Like so, the Cinderella movie. I don't count in that because it was not a live action remake. It was just another Cinderella story, is what that was. I
To
want
be honest, The Lion
The one
King
with
was
Richard
not a
Madden?
live action remake.
no.
I don't know why
Like-
everyone was saying it was live action. I was like, you're not gonna
It
have
was
real
not.
lions walking around. Like it's all
Yeah,
CGI.
Yeah, it
No,
wasn't.
and-
It wasn't actual Eric Andre walking around in
Yeah,
the Lion
like-
King remake.
And as somebody who has seen it, now I went to the drive-in to see this. So like I actually also got to see Toy Story, which I thought I wasn't going to enjoy all that much, and Toy Story 4 I actually did enjoy.
You know,
There was a
20 years from now,
Canadian-
they're going to be doing a live action remake of Toy Story.
Oh God.
It's just gonna be people, and then it's gonna like drop to the floor. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like,
I
do you guys
think I broke Morgan.
do you guys remember that move that Justin Timberlake does in I think the Bye 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 music video where he does like the marionette thing? It's gonna be like that for the Toy Story live action remake.
Oh my
Yo.
God! Stop it!
Yo, I have a question. What the fuck? What?
Stop it!
Wait, you think I remember the video for Bye Bye Bye? Oh, you know that move he does at this frame right here? Like, what?
Because that music video is like iconic.
Oh my
It
God!
wasn't really a lion.
I love Forky with all my being. He is me, and I actually did enjoy Toy Story 4. Now I still think they could have just kept it as like ending at Toy Story 3, and that could have been fine. But honestly,
I heard 4 was a cash grab. That's what I heard.
I never
It's
saw the fourth one. I
I've
heard it
seen
was
1
good,
and
though.
2. I've seen 1 and 2. So I need to-
Toy Story 3 is really good though.
I think I got a couple boyfriend points there, which is pretty good.
No,
Wait,
I'm
did
gonna
you
be
see
honest
these
with-
before you had started watching these movies, or was it after?
Yeah, no, I've seen
okay.
those
okay.
from like back in the day. Yeah, that was my own doing.
No, like let me be honest. Like if we ever get to watch Toy Story 3, which I probably would enjoy doing, I will cry.
that's
I-
okay.
Guarantee.
That's okay. That's not a problem.
No, like with all these live action remakes. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say like I did like the Beauty and the Beast one just because I enjoyed it.
I
Did
heard
it
that
need
was
to
good.
be? Yeah. Did it need? Was it like necessary? No. Was
Mm.
the Aladdin one necessary? No. Now
I forgot that they did Aladdin. I'll be honest.
now like and for me, I don't know. I think they're mostly going off of actors, like big name actors, instead of going off of like who would be the best as that role, to be honest. Because when it comes to characters that are like they're not only acting as their voice, but they're acting as their singing voice as well. Like they need to actually get actors who can sing.
Yeah.
Like for Frozen, they got
And-
Idina
And
Menzel,
for Disney
and
movies, I feel that's pretty important because
they need to do that now.
Name a Disney movie that doesn't have singing in it.
What they used to do is they had a big name actor and then they got an actual musician to do the singing voice.
Mulan,
most of the time,
right? They
Most
had
of the
a lot
time-
that, which was good.
Yeah, most of the time it wasn't the actual like person voicing the character. It was always a different singer. I think maybe it was the same singer for maybe
Damn.
Mulan. I think Jasmine and Pocahontas possibly.
They all had different actors.
Yeah, they all had, but they all had the same singer. I think it was.
The
if I
same
remember.
singer. It was Mulan and Jasmine. It was a different singer for Pocahontas.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was that.
I only
also,
know
but-
this because the only famous Filipino that we have was the
No, that's
singing
the only
voice
one.
of Jasmine and Mulan. That's the
Oh, okay.
only famous one we have.
But yeah, like that's what kind of bothers me about it. Like with like I like to sing. Like I try not to be too critical of people either, but like when it came to Beauty and the Beast, they knew like and Emma Watson had talked about how like she definitely wasn't used to singing. And I could tell, like I could hear the different kinds of auto tune where it was really apparent. But like say like with Frozen, Anna is played by
Kristen Bell.
but yeah, played by Kristen Bell, who, if I remember right, has like a background in opera.
Yeah.
And then Idina Menzel plays Elsa, who is
She's a Broadway singer.
Broadway
Yeah.
singer. So they were very used to that,
Mm.
And I could definitely see that in the Aladdin movie as well, to be honest. Not with the girl who plays Jasmine, because she actually is a singer. But I don't think the guy who played Aladdin was like an accomplished singer. Not that they have to be accomplished or anything like that, but there was one thing that really bothered me in the Aladdin one too, because one of my favorite Disney songs, like for small Disney songs, is the Riff Raff Street Rat song from the original one. I love the way that it sounds. I love how soft it is. And they kind of messed it up in my opinion. He was like Riff Raff, and I hated that. But I can go on and on about like those. Like they were fine, but The Lion King I would not spend money on, because I did get to see that.
I still haven't seen that.
I would not
I don't
spend
think,
money
I'm
on
not
it.
sure I'm going
I feel
to.
like for The Lion King, it's because it wasn't like
Frozen 2, yeah, I'm actually
Because it
excited
was
for
just animals and it was just like voices. I feel like it would have been really easy to get all the original people to do it.
I'm gonna
like,
be honest. So one of the
Scar
things
not being
that
Jeremy Irons like
Mhm.
physically hurt me.
The cast was good. Like the cast was good. The singing was good. The thing that bothered me though was and this is the thing, I actually before the movie came out, I got like really sad because I actually got to see the Hakuna Matata sequence before I got to see the actual movie. And then what somebody did was they're like, yeah, if that makes you sad, watch this right after. And it was the original Hakuna Matata sequence. I'm like, this is, oh my God. There were no facial expressions. One of the things that really bothered me too was I can remember how bright and vibrant and hilarious the I just can't wait to be king sequence was,
Oh yeah,
right?
I can too.
Like it was like huge, right? And literally I can actually say what ended up being the sequence for the Lion King for that in the live action one was literally them just running. It was a running sequence. That's all it was. And they were singing and running. That's what actually a lot of the sequences was them walking around.
So I was gonna say
that was literally it.
No
Couldn't
walking
believe it.
around.
I was gonna say
walking
that
simulator.
these remakes are for the kids nowadays, but that's not true. Because like I feel like the
No.
whole point of the ones we watch were for like creativity and imagination and like
Yeah, the kids
like,
nowadays
these
can watch the
strip
old
these,
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the
Like-
the
Why
live
can't they
action
just-
ones strip them of
Why can't they
whatchamacallit.
just like re-release those into theaters or something?
in like HD
So-
or something? Yeah.
I'm getting the impression, Morgan, that when we watch The Lion King, we're going to be watching the original Lion King,
Oh.
not the new one. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I have like a
had-
parallel.
I had the CD for the soundtrack for the Lion King. It came with like the Elton John versions and the ones from the movie.
I think for me, like the original animated 2D movies, like those are classics. Those are movies I'll rewatch for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Whereas like these live action ones, like I've watched them maybe once, but I have no desire to watch them again.
Yeah.
And like, there's a huge discrepancy about the Mulan one because they're not including Mushu in it or like the cricket or like any other animal
So,
things. And I was just like,
what I heard about the Mulan one is that they're trying to make it more historically accurate, I guess. So,
Okay.
but at that point, I wouldn't
like-
call it a live action remake.
yeah, because like
Just-
it should be a
just say it,
retelling
yeah.
instead.
Yeah, it's a Mulan story, is what it
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, and I don't
Mushu
mind
was,
retellings,
uh,
you know.
a
Of
critical
things
Yeah, see, I
that
don't
I
mind
like.
that.
Like Gotham is a massively,
Different
overhauled
retelling
retelling.
of,
Yeah.
Like it's almost like, it's like not.
Mulan
It's
doesn't get the
functionally
boy
not a
either, yeah,
Batman
Shang.
story, right? Like Gotham is just not about Batman, and in
Mhm.
fact, Gotham makes a lot more sense if you pretend that Batman doesn't exist in that universe.
Gotham
because you
is
know all
what
the
is like the
villains.
origins of all the villains, isn't it? That's-
Yeah, it's the origin
No,
of all the
okay.
villains.
Yeah. But yeah, like retellings, I'm fine with,
Yeah,
but like
100%.
because there were a lot of people that were really mad because Shang's not going to be in it. No, like the cricket's not going to be there. Mushu's not going to be there. I don't even think there's going to be any singing. And so they were really angry about that. And I'm like, okay, then this isn't a live action remake. It's just a Mulan
It's a
story. with-
different genre
Disney.
of movie.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a movie
Like-
stripped of all of its enjoyments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it just like an old school battle movie? Like, is it like?
I don't
like,
really
what are we
know. I haven't
watching
heard
here? Are
too
we
much
watching
about it.
Troy? Like,
Is this gonna be like that one movie? What was that one movie where like it was like the Great Wall or whatever? They were like defending it. From,
Oh yeah, Matt Damon saves China.
Yeah,
That-
it was like
Matt Damon.
oh my god. There's sometimes you're watching a trailer for a movie and you're like, no one's gonna watch this.
my
Why are they
friend.
not eating noodles
My
either?
friend was like, "Do you want to see this movie?" I was like, "I mean, not really." And then he was like, "Well, what are you doing?" I was like, "Nothing." He was like, "You don't want to go?" I was like, "I mean,
You
I
just don't want to
guess."
see it.
I remember when Kit Harington was in Pompeii, and I remember seeing the trailer. I was like, literally, no one's watching this, dude. Sorry, man.
What's
Like-
funny is like I'm still surprised that they made a movie. It's like it's because how do you think that's gonna end? Happy ending, not Pompeii.
Yeah, no problem.
It's kind of like people like I actually heard a couple of people really angry that the Star Wars prequels did not end happy. I'm like, where did you think that was gonna
Yeah.
go?
Really though, yeah.
Yeah, they're prequels, so you know what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah,
No
I like the
matter what.
prequels, by the way.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
I'll
a
just
fan
throw
of
this out
prequels.
there.
Oh,
I
are we
like the
are we
prequels.
talking about the prequels?
And I don't know, so I don't know if that's because I grew up with the prequels as I was coming on, in the same way that people who were fans of the original trilogy grew up with those when they were coming up. But I don't think the prequels were that bad.
So I grew up with I saw the prequels as they came out, of course, but like I had seen Star Wars by that time like 1,000 times.
Yeah, I'd seen 4, 5,
yeah,
and 6
same.
too. Like my favorite movie for like 10 years was The Empire Strikes Back because of the whole "I am your father" scene.
Yeah. The and I think that's a really popular choice actually.
Prequels are trash. Oh, we're gonna have a debate about this.
I can quote the entire
I accept that
scene
opinion
on Mustafar between Obi-Wan and Anakin. That
the order to watch Star Wars is what always confuses me. Yeah, I've gone through a few different with people. So like
Wouldn't
actually,
it be 1 through 6.
Every year, me and Caroline watch all the Star Wars movies.
You need the machete order.
The machete order is like a pretty good one.
You want to talk about confusing orders to watch things in? Talk about Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Oh, you could get wild with that.
We're gonna get into this one now.
I will say this. I wanted to say this about Anakin in the prequels because I think there's a really underrated thing about the character. Well, there's two really underrated things about the character. First of all, yeah, actually, for one thing, like you can say that the character's poorly written if you want to go down that road. Hayden Christensen plays the character that was written on the script literally flawlessly. He plays like that really angsty, awkward teenager perfectly, and that's what's in the script. And there's also another thing about that character. I'm sorry if I'm going on a rant about this.
I love it.
No, it's fine. Yeah, we're on this topic
rant.
now.
So, one of the things that's pointed out is that the romance between the characters, like, it's really kind of awkward and uncomfortable. It really should be, because the Jedis are basically monks. They have like zero socialization skills. Like they're just not exposed to like ordinary dating life because it's not a part of the Jedi life. And Padme, as a character, was in politics from like a really early age and was also deprived of like a normal social experience. Yeah. Like, it's supposed to be really uncomfortable.
Bringing two people who've never socialized before in their life together is gonna be like
in like
really,
a romantic way is like really
seriously. One of my favorite awkward moments of Attack of the Clones is like when the two of them are like I think they're at her home overlooking the ocean.
Where they're like
like the Italian looking place.
Yeah, where like they're having like dinner and then he like floats the
and like they're outside and they kiss. They're like trying like almost kissing or whatever, and like the romantic music is playing, but then they break apart and like the romantic music just like stops.
Yeah.
That part just makes me crack up like every single time. Like the musical cues that were given to like, I don't know, process that moment. But yeah, the romance is super awkward.
I also think, controversial opinion, John Williams' music in the prequels is, I think, maybe the best music he's ever written.
Yeah, it's top tier.
The like, battle of the lightsaber battle at the end.
Well, in the first one particularly, where they're fighting Darth Maul on that long light bridge. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a light bridge, but there's like pillars of light, and then
I know the exact one you're talking.
That score is fantastic.
Like Across the Stars from the prequels is my favorite song in the whole series. What a great job. John Williams is awesome. I guess that's what I have to say.
So like I'm one of those people who saw the 7th episode when it came out, and
yeah, me too.
I regret it. I associate anything past episode 6 as the sellout era of George Lucas.
Well, it's not George Lucas anymore, right?
Well, no, that's why I call it the sellout era, because that's what he did. Was he sold out the rights to have it made, and then
there's actually Mark Hamill actually talked about that, how he wanted George Lucas to be more involved because he really liked George Lucas's ideas that he had.
Mark Hamill was like out in like public, like slandering the remakes at some point in time.
He really does like have a really strong opinion about them, which I think is interesting. I like them, but I will say that
Mark Hamill, by the way, because
Mark Hamill's
people would do that.
I will say the biggest problem, in my opinion, with the remakes, even though I do like them, is the fact that it feels like it's a trilogy just for the sake of being a trilogy, not because they wrote a script that demanded it be a trilogy. Like, you can see an example of this in The Hobbit, the Peter Jackson Hobbit films. It's like they should be. So originally that movie was supposed to be given to Guillermo del Toro, and he looked at it and he said, in my opinion, it's 2 movies. Like there's a really natural halfway point here, and we split it off into 2 movies. I agree. That makes sense. But people really like trilogies for some reason, probably because you can sell it as 3 movies and make like shit tons of money off of it.
Well, that's only if they do successful. Like
it's only if they do successfully, yeah. But as a result, I think the 3rd Hobbit movie feels like really uncomfortable because it's just like The Hobbit and like some shit from like the Silmarillion, which doesn't really fit with the rest of the stuff in The Hobbit.
Well, I feel like if you split something that's supposed to be 2 into 3, the pacing seems really off in one of the transitions.
Yep. 100%. There's also like
especially as somebody who's like studied and done like video production and like putting together movies. You can always tell when like there's minor issues or like pacing issues, and like when they come out and say, oh yeah, we originally had this plan to be like a trilogy, but then it got pushed into 1 or something, or like it got pushed into like 2 different movies. It's like, well, you could tell because it's like the first movie they spend an hour developing story, and then like the second movie they're like fight, win, the end. It's like what happened between
Exactly, yeah. Also, just like a kind of specific, I only like the first Hobbit. I think that's fair. I a kind of specific, like nitpicky thing about that, because I really like Lord of the Rings, is that in the Hobbit book, the necromancer is like this like really mysterious thing that's only talked about a couple times and like very much not explained that it's Sauron at all. And like it's extra scary because of that. It's like, ooh, what is this? This is scary. And then the movie, like, it's Sauron, by the way. It's Sauron, and that's not scary. It's just like
it eliminates all the mystery out of it.
It eliminates
Exactly.
the mystical element of like who
it also
could
makes
this be?
It also makes Gandalf look like
An
like
idiot.
he really takes his time with everything. It's like Gandalf knows it's Sauron now years before like the Fellowship of the Ring, when he's like like I've got to consult my book.
Rory, a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Well, that's another thing. Like that's the pacing thing. Again, it's like in the Hobbit movie. So I only ever saw the first one. I saw like part of the second one and fell asleep. But you were saying that like they know it's Sauron in the Hobbit movies. So then like by the time he gets to the Fellowship and then the Two Towers and the Return of the King, when he knows it's, or when he goes and approaches him and like asks him for help or whatever, it's like the pacing just seemed really off for that. Like that's an inconsistency, because if he knew it was Sauron way back in that era, like he should have followed up with that, and then
exactly, immediately.
But he waited like 1,000 years or whatever to come back and be like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna ask, and then like I'm gonna get betrayed because I didn't, leap on it when I had the chance.
Yeah, it's a really uncomfortable like way of having your film. Yeah, those Hobbit movies are just really rocky. The third one is, I actually legitimately think it's a bad movie.
That's
like the second one is like different. Desolation.
Honestly, I've seen the third one once.
Same.
One time.
I never
Me too.
rewatched it.
Me too. And I've seen. I mean, how many times have we all watched the Lord of the Rings series?
Oh my god!
I mean,
I watched it every year.
Watching it in like 3 weeks, like again for like 100th time probably.
Melly, is that
It's
White
White
Claw?
Claw.
It's White Claw.
Just me now.
Morgan. In a little while, in a few weeks, Luigi's Mansion is coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a segue to her
Nice
article.
transition, Rory.
Thank you. Seamless.
It's almost like you've done this before.
Tell us about Luigi's Mansion.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Luigi's Mansion.
And then specifically the article, if one of you don't mind posting it in the chat, so then they can either follow or.
Yeah, I actually already have it up too. So give me one sec.
Because I saw the headline. It was something about DLC, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm a little bit interested in. Because as long as it's not like.
Well, as far as I know, and again, I'm not like the hugest Nintendo person ever, but for stuff like Smash, I know they get free. Is it free fighters, or do they have to pay for like the people coming out? Because like when they had Joker and Tracer come out.
Yeah, it's a fighter pass, so it's $24.99, and you get 5 of the fighters. You don't know who it is at the beginning, like at the very beginning, so they come out periodically, because it's a season pass.
Yeah.
but it's only $25 for 5 fighters, and then you also get like music and I want to say some stages along with it, which is nice. That's not bad. Now, like, not to call out Call of Duty here, but like a $50 season pass is wild.
Is it really 50? I thought it was like 40.
$50?
Oh yeah, it's 49.
Yeah, it's like comical. Like
Oh, like they're for the last couple of good years for sure.
You
I
wanna
know
know how
for
many of those I
a fact
bought?
because I have had to be
At
like,
least
"Hey, you want
4
the
of
season
those.
pass?"
Well, no,
Yeah,
not 4,
like-
3.
Like that's wild to me that like that they would sell a season pass along like for $50 for a $60 game already on top of that. Oh my god, and it's content that's not even out yet. Now, like, with that being said, I'm okay with DLC. I'm okay with like a little bit of paid content as long as they don't make it like so much money. You know, like if it's extremely expensive like that for some content, that's a bit much, I think. Now, I think with this, all it would be, if I remember right, what I read about it was that they'd just be adding a little bit of content to like to what was already in the game. Like adding new content to the Scare Scraper and the Scream Park
So,
multiplayer mode. So it's mostly for like multiplayer.
Do you think
stuff.
this is more of an expansion or it's DLC outright?
I think it's more like just like for multiplayer stuff, to be honest. I don't think it's anything to do with like with the single player, so I wouldn't really call it an expansion for that. But I don't know too much about it because they only just like came out with this like 2 days ago.
I just want to point out that Blood and Wine is 22 maple bucks, and this Call of Duty season pass is like over twice the price of that. And like
that's
Blood and Wine is real.
That's 30 hours of why am I playing with my pencil? That's like 30 hours of content if I remember right. For
Yeah.
what is that
Well,
like?
if you do every
18
little
bucks or
thing,
something?
I think it comes to more. But if you do the main story, I
Yeah.
think it's like 30.
Yeah, regular main story is about 30 hours of that, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's like a whole
and then
game
sorry.
essentially.
the Call of Duty stuff is just maps, so you can just run around. You know, like it's mostly for multiplayer.
Well,
That's usually what they're for.
The flip side to this coin is that like we are comparing two different games, like two completely different genre games.
Different
like,
types of games. That's
The Witcher is the RPG story based, and COD is like
Yeah.
they had a story, but no longer having a story, and COD is more for
Yeah.
like the let's shoot each
Yeah,
other and
even
like
even
compete
COD
each
has
other.
stopped pretending about the story.
yeah.
Well, like the earlier COD games had a decent story. Like I remember the first Black Ops came, and like the second one, they were like
Some of them
relatively
did, yeah,
decent.
yeah.
But like after that, I was just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, they got weird fast, and then they you could tell like they dished out. They did like the sort of Bethesda thing where you dish out all your money for like one actor or something, right? Like Patrick Stewart.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
Portland, like, and so they had Kit Harington, and great job with Pompeii, buddy. I really like that. And they had Kevin
Poor
Spacey.
Pompey.
I'm waiting for Jason Derulo to be in COD.
Oh my
Oh
Lord.
hell yeah! I am there.
I remember
Yeah.
one of the iterations of COD. I think it was Ghost. Ghost had this DLC pack where I don't know why they were selling this, but it was like you could get Snoop Dogg as your drill instructor. So like when you got kills, he'd be like, "Nice job, man. That was one kill." And then like when you get like 5 kill streaks, like you got a care package waiting on dog or something. Like I didn't get it,
Oh
but
my
like
God.
I was just like,
Goodness.
how much do they have to approach Snoop Dogg to do and be like, "Yo, can you be the voice for these?"
I feel
COD
like Snoop Dogg is too high to be that motivating. Like personally, like I
Yeah,
don't-
and like that wasn't even the only one. I think they had someone else who was famous, and I was just like, "What?" I was like,
I remember World at War. Yeah, Call of Duty 5. Yeah, that was one of my first ones. Like I kind of really started with like I played 3 and all that, but like I kind of started with 4 and I stopped after Black
That
Ops 2
sounds
because they
worth
didn't
the
have
money.
dedicated servers and I was frustrated and tired.
Yeah, I mean, if
No.
I could get Snoop Dogg telling me I did a good job by taking out 7 people when I was on a 7 kill streak, I'd be like, "Yeah."
No, like the DLC for Luigi's Mansion seems meh to me, but I understand it. See, like I'm this kind of the same way when it comes to Nintendo stuff. Hi, Andrew.
Holy shit.
Andrew's
You
here.
got up early enough to catch this. You work hella late.
I
just-
know.
the,
Oh yay!
Sugar
Well-
6 hype.
Sugar
welcome.
6 hype, yeah.
It's good to see you.
But yeah, so like with DLC, it's such a weird topic in terms of Nintendo, because for the longest time, Nintendo hadn't really done any of that stuff. Most of the time, if
I
they
was
did
gonna
DLC,
say, I was like, I don't think I've ever thought of Nintendo as someone who releases DLC.
they only just started doing that a couple of years ago. So like, I think maybe back on the Wii U a little. That's when they started doing that kind of stuff. But even then, like, it was fairly cheap. It was less than $20 for like season pass stuff type stuff. So if anything, as long as this Luigi's Mansion thing is like fairly inexpensive. So like, again, like example, what was it that came out last year? It was Splatoon 2, the Splatoon 2 DLC that they did. The expansion for it was called the Octo expansion. And so what it basically,
I'm pretty sure Splatoon is the first time I heard DLC from Nintendo.
It wasn't the first time, but like for a big one like that, for like on the Nintendo Switch, it definitely was. For an expansion, because what it basically did was you played as an Octoling instead of like a Squid Kid instead, and it gave you a whole big new storyline to go through. And then once you were finished with it, you could actually choose between whether or not you wanted to play as a Squid Kid or an Octoling in the online mode. So you could just choose whoever you wanted to play as, which was super cool. And that was $20 for that. And that's not that bad. So for something like this, it has to be something fairly inexpensive. I think, at least like when it comes to Nintendo, just because it always seemed like Nintendo was better about that, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Correct me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, but Luigi Mansion came out that day we were watching the one thing, right? The Gamescom or whatever. Or I know they had a
E3?
preview of it. Yeah, E3.
E3, yeah, because I freaked out on
Yeah.
stream.
Okay. So this has been out for like a couple months then, right?
Yeah, so like, it's not out yet. The game comes out on October. And I'm super excited about it.
Oh,
but,
so the game isn't out yet?
It's not out yet, so they're
Oh,
just
okay.
talking, which is understandable again. But like, sometimes I feel like with okay, freaked out on stream. Can't imagine that, Kappa. Yeah, I deserve that, Kappa. I was crying at Animal Crossing that day. So.
Oh my God, Ari. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, I did. I freaked out just a tiny bit.
I've never played an Animal Crossing game, but everyone I've ever met loves Animal Crossing. So this will be my first one. I'm very excited.
But yeah, so like I'm super excited for, like, at least to get back onto that, like in terms of like what it's gonna be about and everything for Luigi's Mansion. I'm so excited because I think it's hilarious. Now, I didn't play much of the second one because I still have to get it because it's for the 3DS. But it's hilarious because so the first one came out on GameCube. Basically, what happened with Luigi is he won this mansion. It's haunted. His brother gets kidnapped. He has to save him. Like poor Luigi. He's terrified. Okay. Second one, I can't remember
Mario
where he
got
goes.
Kidnapped, or like does he have another brother?
Yeah, Mario.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know. Like, I'm not up on my Nintendo lore, so I didn't know if, like, Luigi had a different brother for this game specifically, or if it was
No,
Mario.
it was Mario.
It's like Will Smith's other son. It's like no one
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
talks about him, but he's there.
And it's one of my favorite parts too about the first Luigi's Mansion is that you could walk through it and there's literally a button for Luigi to just call out like all scared for his brother. So he'd just be like, Mario. Like there's a button for it.
Mario.
Mario. Like that's what he would literally do. His name is Wario.
No, wouldn't it
Or
be Waluigi?
Waluigi.
Yeah,
Waluigi.
because
Oh.
it's following Luigi and like Wario thing.
So, of course, so like in the second game, he goes somewhere. The place that he goes is haunted, full of ghosts, of course, right? So, like when I actually first saw like the announcement for Luigi's Mansion 3, I was super excited because all I saw was this huge, tall building. I'm like, that's a hotel. That's got to be a hotel, and I really hope that it's like him and his family are going on vacation because they're sick and tired of everything happening. Like, oh, I'm getting like caught up with ghosts and everything. I need a vacation. Of course. The hotel that he goes to is haunted.
See, I'm kind of looking for the opposite. I'm thinking that like this will be like Luigi's Mansion 3 it's not haunted at all. Like he just goes there and it's just
Like it's
just
taken
a
over by
light.
Bowser or something. It's like it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
haunted, but it's like it's been taken over.
Yeah.
I'm
that'd
so
be a huge
excited for
plot
this one.
twist.
And this one actually sounds really cool because, okay, so the Gooigi part sounds so weird. But
I saw that on E3. I was like, what? I was
Oh,
very
yeah,
confused.
it actually looks pretty cute too. So like you can use this basically like a little clone of Luigi. Like if he needs to go through like a tough like a really small space or like go over spikes or something, you can use Gooigi to do it. What I actually think is really cool though is that they're doing a multiplayer mode. So I think it's like up to 8 players or something can play
8?
together
Wow.
and yeah. So I was like, wow, that's actually really cool, and
When you
I
said
can't
that,
wait to actually try this with friends.
I was thinking like someone could play Luigi and then like someone could play Luigi and they can like solve puzzles together. But you were
Now,
like 8, and I was like, whoa. I was like,
No, I think that's the other part of the multiplayer too. Is one person plays as Gooigi, the other person plays as regular Luigi, and they can go around.
That's pretty
and do
cool,
stuff.
actually.
I'm really excited for it. Like I can't wait
that
for
sounds
it.
very
And,
Portal-esque.
oh, it's gonna be so interesting for me too because I already said I would play a scary game on stream, which I'm going to do, but I'm still intending on playing that for Halloween also because it comes out on Halloween.
Wait, what scary game are you gonna play?
I have no idea.
I can get you
Resident
like I can get you like a list of like possible ones that aren't like
You want ones
like,
with like just jump scares?
Rory and I will curate a list for you. You can
yeah.
choose.
We'll
And
make
then
it. We'll make it like
They'll
Like,
put
do
it in
it.
one of those automated like wheel spinning things. Whatever it lands on, that's the one you got to do.
Oh Jesus, Mary and Joseph. No, because you know for sure, like Dead Space is gonna be on there. RE2 is gonna be on there. It's gonna land on one of those.
I
Very
was thinking
funny,
Deadly
though.
Premonition.
No.
You do
that
Alien
was-
Isolation.
Morgan,
No!
all I want for my birthday this year is for you to play a horror game.
Silent Hill.
No.
What's that other game with the photographer? Layers of Fear.
So here's the no.
Frame?
Here's the thing, Morgan. We gotta pick one, right? Like we.
You can say no to all of them, but like eventually you're gonna have to sit down and be like, all right, I need to say yes to one of these.
I feel like I feel like I should let Melly be the one who ultimately makes the choice though from the list because if Morgan ends up being really scared by it and like I'm not taking the hit for that. Sorry, like it's
evil.
not happening.
Zane, the one and only, how are you?
Rory and Morgan can dual stream Fear.
Ooh.
Well,
Yeah, wait,
that's
hold on.
spoiler
Is
with
there a co-op?
super
Is
scared.
there
You
a
guys
co-op
could do a
game that
co-op.
is like a scary game?
I'd be willing to do that.
I could look into it. I'm
Okay.
I'm terrified.
We're just
Everything.
passing the buck to Melly.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
a
called-
co-op
that's called
horror
being
game would
safe.
be great.
Like guys, I played the Walking Dead games and I got like scared.
You mean like the Telltale ones?
the Telltale
Wait,
one?
Those aren't
But
like scary
like
games,
Morgan,
though.
you've played Friday the 13th, which arguably
It's
like,
based
that
on
is a
horror.
scary-
But the thing is,
Yeah.
like, when Morgan plays that, like, she's focused on the gameplay and like the tactic of it, and I think that is like a useful distraction from the actual content.
Yeah, because like that's not
Yeah, because
my favorite memories
aren't
of
Corey's
playing
just
with
being
Morgan are
smart.
all Friday.
Andrew
That's what I said.
appreciates it.
I was like,
Andrew
that's just him
understands.
being smart. I was like, he's not gonna.
Yeah.
Just passing the buck to Melly. Well, yeah, like with Friday the 13th, it's not like jump scares aren't really like the big part of it because it's a multiplayer game too. So
Yeah, that's
it's-
more
it's
about
hard.
eliminating or escaping from the
Yeah.
killer.
It's like, yeah, I can get a little
jump
bit-
scares and
yeah, it's like yeah, I get a little freaked out when like Jason pops up all of a sudden, but like it's not meant to be like a jump scare game,
Yeah.
I guess. Versus like, what? I was trying to think like maybe Alien Isolation, but that one's also like you can kind of tell where it is at times, but like the kind of games where you turn around and there's gonna be something.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
Layers
like, that's
of Fear.
meant to jump. Yeah.
Layers of
Oh,
Fear is like
God.
you'll
So you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna play
yeah,
Blair.
I
You're
know.
not gonna play Blair Witch.
Oh my God, no.
No, under no circumstances. Because no, the thing is, me and Morgan watch Twitch streams, and often, and we watched a Blair Witch one once.
It was
That's
Ash's.
not happening.
In
Yeah,
Ash's
nope.
I saw 2 different people
Like-
named Ash play Blair Witch.
Literally, like we were just sitting talking in Discord, and I was watching this, and like something would happen, and I would just be, fuck.
I can still see that happening. Just like the
That's
slightest thing.
exactly why you should stream it. It would be great.
You should
content.
try to get like a heart rate monitor and attach like the controller and then like have it on screen so then like it just shows.
It
how
would be
terrified-
constant.
It'd be like,
I
guys,
already-
like, why is it going like this all the time? It's like, well, and that's just.
Oh my God. And the funny thing is too is like I was so stupid in thinking this, but I was like, maybe I should do like a jump scare thing. Like people can do a jump scare in the chat. And I was
Yeah,
like,
do
this
it
bad
like where you
idea.
do X amount of bits or like donations, like you can get jump scared. I've seen people
Somebody
do that.
I actually saw one where somebody did they're playing Man Madan, and this one streamer was like, there was this really freaky part and he was like, oh, and then all of a sudden it was really quiet. Somebody did one of the jump scares and it scared the absolute shit out of him. Like he actually had to get up and walk away for a minute. That would be me. I would kill you with it, Morgan. Oh, see, already it's a bad idea, guys. I shouldn't have even brought it up.
Just do
Melly,
it, but,
I can
like,
tell
change
Melly's on the hunt
values
for a
every
horror
single
game
time.
right now. I'm looking at like,
How did you
she's
know?
like into she's been quiet, she's been doing stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right.
I
she's
have-
looking in a
pushing up.
totally other direction.
You guys are terrible.
How did you know? I was like literally googling best co-op horror games. was
I
trying
did
to
the
find
same
something.
thing. Yeah. The
You guys are so mean.
no, we'll find one that's
Okay,
good.
so,
Melly will pick one that's
So
good.
Melly will
coming
do it,
back,
yes. So Rory does not have to, and I can go after.
full
that.
circle for the DLC stuff. Do you think that because I didn't know Luigi Mansion hadn't come out yet. I thought it was like it's been out and like they were announcing it because that sounds like the smart thing to do after seeing how well the game did. And you talk about DLC afterward.
I definitely would have been playing it by now. If it was-
Yeah, but do you think that they're announcing this DLC now beforehand because that's the new trend, so to say, with
Absolutely.
DLC? Because I know two different scenarios with like how DLC works. It's either one, the devs wait to see how well the game does, and then they're like, okay, we'll talk about DLC, or they just are doing the COD thing where it's like you buy a COD game, you're expecting to have at one point in time someone go, oh, would you like the season pass as well?
Yeah, I think that's honestly it, because a lot of retail places, as a person who works in retail, that's what a lot of those big games end up doing is it'll be okay. So you want to get this game, you can also get the season pass because buying it now will save you money than buying them all individually later. Like that's a huge thing with like the retail portion of it. And yeah, I mean, it makes the company more money, but absolutely, I think that's why they do it, because like it's definitely a huge trend of them like starting to get them out beforehand. Yeah.
It
I
makes
completely
them money,
agree with
but at what cost? Because I remember, so like this is why I'm not like
Cost of the consumers.
I'm not a big fan of Arkham Knight. Too bad Bleez isn't here, so you can't hear the whole rant.
Oh.
We can highlight this section and I'll send it to him. So I went to buy. I pre-ordered Arkham Knight because I was like, I love City, I love Asylum. I was like, I'm definitely getting Arkham Knight.
Mm.
Got in line. I was at GameStop, so this made sound familiar. They had like 2 tickets for lines. They're like, oh, you're like Group A, come back at this time, and then like Group B, you're at this time. So I was in Group B. I went up. They're like, okay, you just have the standard ones. Like, would you like the DLC or the season pass? It's like they had a printout of everything it was supposed to come with, and it looked like a lot of shit. And I was like, for how much? And there was like it was like $34 or something.
Mm.
Or like $24.99, something like that. And I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, it's a lot of content for that amount of money. And I was just like, the other games like had DLC too, and like they weren't that bad. So I was like, yeah, might as well. Bought it. I spent over, I think it was like $106 after the whole the price of the game and the DLC came out.
Mm.
So then I go home. I beat Arkham Knight in the one night because I didn't sleep, and I was like severely disappointed in it, and I was like, all right, hopefully the DLC is better. Every DLC they released, I was sitting there like, dude, this is like 20 minutes of content, if that.
Yeah.
And then like the fighting packs where they're like, oh, test how good you are with the combos and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not like I platinum the game, but like I'm not sitting here trying to just sit there and do combo after combo and trying to figure out how to beat these, like get 3 stars in missions that I don't care about. Like if I was getting like DLC for this, I want to see like where it goes from after. So spoilers for those who haven't been Arkham Knight, but
Arkham Knight came out in like 2015.
yeah,
so.
that'd be
There's
like
a statute of
going
limitations.
Romeo and Juliet. But at the end, the
Time to get back to playing
after
Bloodborne.
at the end, Bruce Wayne reveals he's Batman, and the Arkham Knight is Jason Todd. So they could have done so much more with that ending. and the DLC, but they didn't. They could have had a whole DLC based on like the battle for the Cal comic series. I don't know if Rory, you probably know that one where like they all come back and try to decide who gets to be Batman. So I feel like in that aspect they missed a great opportunity, and they instead just released a bunch of shit that was like, this is easy because this is in the game, but we'll reskin it and then sell it back to them at something else called the Fighters Pack, and like something that's never like they didn't, because when it was on the list at GameStop, it was just like, oh, DLC Pack 1, like this, and then like DLC Pack 2 coming soon, whatever.
Yeah, it seems like it would be a ton. Yeah.
But it was really just like, oh, here's Batmobile race challenges, and then like, oh, here's fighting challenges, and then oh, here's a 5-minute story session for playing this person. And I was just like, this was really all it was.
For those of you who don't know the lore, by the way, our friend David, better known as Bleeze, is a programmer who worked on
who works for Rocksteady and worked on Arkham Knight. So every chance I get, I talk shit about Arkham Knight because I didn't like it.
And yeah, exactly, yeah. And he hopes Bleeze is here to hear it.
I'm trying to help him
Bleeze, by the way.
The game.
He's one of the few people who's actually gonna be like have a copy of my master's thesis. So thank you, Bleeze, for taking your time.
Free DLC, I don't mind. Like, I think that's fine. Totally. Now, what bothers me is when they will have like a $40 to $50 season pass with a bunch of content. And again, you're paying $60 for the game, and then on top of that, then buying the $50 season pass for something that absolutely could have been in the game if they had just taken the time to put it in there instead of like getting the game out when they wanted it to.
$60 for another game, essentially, or $50 for essentially another game that like should have been included with.
That should have been in the game. Now like free DLC, I don't mind, obviously. I mean, because it's free, and who wouldn't mind that? But also because if there are game developers that want to work on things after the game came out and then give their their fans more content, like for $0, like that's fine, you know? Like I think that's pretty cool of them.
No Man's Sky has done an amazing job of providing free content.
Yeah, so
Borderlands did that too. What's the one that we're supposed to finish Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, that's a good point. Yeah, the Fight for Sanctuary. Yeah. Oh God, that's Sunday. Yeah, that kind of snuck up on me. I'll have to make sure that
yeah, you gotta make sure your paper is done.
I'm applying for funding right now. It's like a nightmare to do that.
But yeah, like when it comes to DLC and stuff like that, like absolutely, I think if it's free, that's fine. Like they want to work on stuff, they want to give their fans some content, like that's okay. But on top of having to pay $50 for even more content that should have been in the game at that point. Like sometimes I think about it's funny when I say 10 years ago, because 10 years ago was only 2009. But 20 years ago, you know, like they couldn't just patch games, you know, like they couldn't just give you new content. It had to be in the base game in order for them to have it there.
Well, you know, for specific examples like Kingdom Hearts, you had in Kingdom Hearts 2, and then you had 2.5, and 2.8, and then you had to have those separate ones because those were the only ones with the additional content.
Well, so what you would probably go with on that is instead of 1.5, because that was those were HD remasters basically.
Oh yeah, the final.
What it would actually be is it would be final mix. Now those I can understand because that was Japanese only content. But they re-released it is what they did. So they had to re-release the whole game with the content in there. So I can understand that, I guess, because you're maybe at the time, and I can't remember how much Kingdom Hearts 2 was, for example, when it first came out. So
I think they were always $20 for PS2.
$30 maybe.
Yeah.
I really can't remember, but I want to go with that. So say $30. So maybe it's $30 for the game, and if we had ever gotten the final mix, which we didn't until 1.5 and 2.5, but if we had over here, if we had gotten the final mix, if somebody wants to re-buy that with the content on it, that's okay. You know, that's up to those people. But at least they're re-releasing the whole game with the content. So then the people who had never played Kingdom Hearts 2, for example, before, they can at least have the full game with the DLC on there, which is which is really nice. And it wasn't even really DLC content. It was added content, is what it was at the time.
Devil May Cry 3 did that too. They had Dante's Awakening, and then they had the special edition. And the special edition was the first edition that they let you play as the antagonist.
Yes. And also, like,
And it
if you
added
haven't played
Bloody
that series,
Palace,
give it a go.
right?
Bloody Palace, that's right, yeah. Also, I think one of the other consequences of back in the day, like, where you couldn't have you couldn't just patch in content, is, like, the standard for, like, the quality of, like, how buggy your game was very different. Like, buggy releases are, like, expected now, and buggy releases were not expected then because you couldn't have a day one patch that you just released.
No. Like,
so I
everything
honestly
had to
think
be
that has been a luxury that the game industry has kind of abused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because like
way
most
too much.
like most games now, it's like, okay, 50 gigabyte day one patch.
What was
like,
it? RDR2.
Skyrim is also-
RDR2
Yeah,
had
Red
like
Dead
a
had
70,
that.
70 day, 70
Yep.
gigabyte patch day one. And I was just like, that's absurd. You had to install this
Black
game
Ops
and then
Black Ops 4 did also.
yeah, that's
Like,
I
that's
feel
a
like
lot.
that's a thing now. Just like every game, just I think God of War had it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
most games
Most
now
games,
have a
yeah.
day one patch.
Every Bethesda game is broken as hell on release day, like really badly.
Well, I think that's
Um,
expected from Bethesda after this many years, because like
I mean, I agree. Yeah, I
It's
think
on
that's-
brand at this point.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
true.
how they
Actually,
are.
that's why they have the nickname Bugthesda. That's
Yeah,
legit the
exactly.
reason why it's.
Also, Ari, I completely agree, actually, and I'm a huge fan of King. I literally have no idea what
Three?
this DLC is. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure.
Honest to God, I don't like.
all
they-
of
they
us
were- they-
have talked about this at one point. I think we all felt that it was 3 was lackluster as the ending for the game.
I only watched the series. I watched Tiff play the entire series, and I felt disappointed by 3. I've never
I
played it.
Yeah, I was completely disappointed in it. I feel like with 3, for one thing, what made me really upset is that all of the worlds that were already previously announced were just all the worlds that were in there. There was no surprise at all. Like, I was hoping for at least one like Disney World that we didn't know about.
Yeah, like I didn't get why would you lay all your cards out on the table and then like not expect people to be upset when like they're like, oh, this is it,
Yeah.
like this is all. And
Yeah.
Also,
Like,
I hated Frozen World.
Oh my God!
Hated
Don't get me
Frozen.
started on the Frozen World. I swear to Jesus. It was literally
that was such a cop out world. It was just like, oh, let's put this music video in and like add them at the end. It's like
they added the music video in there that was not needed, and then we spent literally most of the whole world in a labyrinth. We didn't
Yeah.
even get to hear Hans talk, and he was the villain. He was the main villain that we fought.
you saw him at like
And-
the end for like a cutscene. I was just like, what?
See, I feel like I was I was part of like,
Building
the
all
target
up.
audience.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I should have been like the first one to buy Kingdom Hearts 3 because I loved the first 2 so much. I didn't even bother buying it, and because I watched gameplay of it. I was like, well, I feel like I watched gameplay of it, so I don't really need to play this.
It was
Right,
also
yeah.
incredibly
Which-
easy.
Honestly,
Yeah, that's
buy
what
it when
everyone
it's-
said. Yeah.
Buy it when it's less than $20. That's what I'm gonna say, because it was a fun game. The gameplay was fun. It's just everything was predictable. Every
Yeah,
single
that's,
thing was
like,
predictable.
If you've seen the movies that were in this game, you know how it's gonna turn out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Insert Ash's Donald Gunn emo.
I think she got rid of it.
It was probably better for me then because I did not see the movies going into.
Yeah,
the
I think
game
you
most
would
of
have been
them.
more surprised about that ending
Yeah.
than people
Yeah.
who
Certainly,
actually saw the
yeah.
movies.
No, like the Frozen World one was really tedious because like it's supposed to go through the storyline and stuff, and all they had was the weird labyrinth in that one. And now the Toy Story World, that one I enjoyed.
Yeah,
lot.
that one
the
was
Tangled
better.
World I liked. 'Cause the
I
Tangled-
liked
the-
watching Tangled World a lot.
Yeah.
I remember. I imagine you thought the same thing when you played the Toy Story World. When they got to that one segment and it looked like they were advertising for a different game within the game.
Yeah.
I was very confused. I was like, "Is this
Uh-huh.
an ad for a different game?" I was like, "Is this the point we've gotten to where they have to advertise new games in games that are coming out?"
Herc's World I actually really liked too, and it's funny because most of the time I was getting really like throughout playing
That was
the
the
Kingdom Hearts
first world.
series. It was the first world, yeah. I actually was kind of getting a little bit annoyed with Olympus Coliseum because it was always sort of the same thing to me. And then like one of my friends was actually really mad because then it ended up not even having any of the Olympus Coliseum stuff, which I can understand. I mean,
I
they should have
thought
at
that
least
was
said that,
strange because like it's been in every
Yeah.
iteration beforehand, so I don't know why they just cut it from the
Yeah.
last one.
Now, needless to say, I did really like Herc's World though, because I did like being able to explore with that. That was fun. I did like that. And I enjoyed the game, but it definitely was not like it's not even in like my top 10
Yeah,
probably. Like
I don't think it.
honestly,
Like I played it,
Uh,
beat it once, and then deleted it, and like I've not ever
I
thought
would
about
actually-
re-adding it.
like I'd actually like to platinum it if I could, but like at this point, I got 60 hours in. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm gonna go on.
which is like the total opposite for like Spider-Man. Spider-Man, I nonstop played platinum in 3 days. That was part of the like 0.2% plat club, and I was like, all right, well.
Well, and the thing too that's like really weird with the ending that was like really confusing because now like everybody's basically seen like how much of
Oh,
it's
when
been-
they like meet in the desert and like he's like talking about the suitcase or whatever, and I was like, what?
Well, not that part. It was the part with Kyrie because Kyrie basically got like killed and then she
Oh,
never
right.
came back. And then Cassie and I had a really long discussion about it because we were like, we have no idea what's going on because she and I guess a bunch of other people, like in the ending scene when they're in Destiny Islands, they see Kyrie sitting there, and we're like, Kyrie's back. How is Kyrie back? And the way that I looked at it was that she wasn't actually back, right? So it was like that she wasn't there, that she was just like somewhere else. That was my interpretation, but Cassie was like, no, I think that she like is back and they saved her and she's just back and now Sora's gone for some reason. I'm like, I swear to Jesus, if they brought her back in the credits, I'm gonna be super mad. Because that's something that like
I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah. Like she died and we never got to see her come back.
It wasn't memorable. I'll tell you right now, the third one's not memorable for me because I don't remember that at all.
I was hoping the DLC would explain her, and that's why I was like, what? And see, that's why I'm really mad about the DLC, because I was hoping at least with the DLC that it was going to be that we would, like, as Sora, we would go and, like, get her back or whatever. I still don't know what the DLC is even going to be about. Because it
Andrew's
looks
on Diablo 3 right now, as you will see in stream in a little bit.
Kyrie was there. I think Sora basically trades lives. And see,
What?
like, if they explained that in the credits of all things, that's not good storytelling. Like,
This is
This
is
is
like a
pissing me off.
Tarantino
We need to
movie
go on to a
kind of
different-
level of confusion.
Exactly. Like that's what makes me really mad about it because like if even if it was right at the end, like after all the stuff that like with the final boss that happened, even if it was like a short 15-minute thing of us going and getting her, I actually probably would have been okay with that. But if they did it in the end credits without showing us the in between or letting us at least play as Sora, that is bad storytelling. And like
They could have done
that's
what
just
they
plain
did
old
with
bad
the
storytelling.
back page or whatever. It had just something at the end as an epilogue and
some
explain
kind of
it that
epilogue.
way.
Exactly, but they didn't. And now they have this DLC out that looks like it's basically the game,
Wait,
but
have
with
they,
different
have
elements
they,
to
have they,
it.
have they shown the DLC yet?
They've shown like stuff that's supposed to be from the DLC, and I have no idea. Like I'm
my original thinking was because I know when that game was coming out, we were like, okay, it's coming out on new gen, it's gonna have DLC because all the other ones didn't. My original thinking for DLC for this game was that it was just gonna add worlds that they didn't have.
That's what
or
I was
something.
hoping for. That's exactly what I was hoping for, and I don't think they're doing that. I think it's literally just adding to the game, and that's not what I want. Like I need more from it, but I have no idea. Like at this point, like because with this DLC, I thought like at least if it was gonna explain things, it would be fine. But at this point, if they want to go on with it, they're probably gonna have to make a Kingdom Hearts 4 and end it there,
Yeah.
if anything. But because they also said the Sora's story is done. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
because they tied up so much in this game.
yeah, it's a shit show, to be honest. It's complete catastrophe. Like I have no idea what's
I feel
going
like
on.
this is
I don't even think the people at Square Enix
No,
know
they
what's
don't.
going on.
so you know how we were talking about earlier pacing. This game has a major problem pacing.
Very much so. Kingdom Hearts 3 had a huge pacing.
Because like
problem,
in the
big time.
beginning, you got to do all these worlds, and then like you got to find Sora's inner strength or whatever, and then he finds it, and then like cut 3-4 worlds afterwards. Like, oh, everybody
Oh, there
showed
was-
up. We're solving everything. It's like,
Yeah, there's
What?
another thing that I was actually weirded out about too, that they never really explained, because they started getting into the new 7 hearts, which Kyrie is supposed to be one of them. And so the way that they did it was, so it was still Kyrie, Elsa, Anna, Rapunzel. And I think there's supposed to be, I think maybe one more in there too, but that still leaves like a couple more. And so that's why I was actually hoping that maybe in the DLC or in the game, when I was still playing the game, that they were maybe, I was hoping honestly for Merida, Tiana, and Moana. That's actually who I was hoping for. Because like they were explaining all of this stuff, new 7 hearts and everything. And then that completely went down the drain, and they and they stopped explaining that. And I'm like, okay, this is confusing. And Square Enix games are confusing by nature.
yeah.
So, and I was even more confused than I usually am playing the games. So I have literally no idea. We should go on to a different topic. It's terrible. Melly, what do you got?
Over here are just like, Rory's like, all right,
By the
I'm
way,
gonna pull
I
a
just
tip.
wanna- if
I'm
you're
on
wondering, if you're in the
Instagram
chat,
now.
If you're in the chat and you don't know, by the way, this is an hour-long podcast that we do.
It's an
The,
hour long.
no, I just got cell phone service back.
Oh, you did.
I haven't had cell service all day.
You've been out of cell service all day.
So just my phone's just going crazy right now.
Square is just as confused as us. Got it. Yeah. Oh, the new 7 were only backups in case Sora and his team. Yeah. See, like, and I think what they needed to do was base a new storyline around that. So then that way they could get new characters in there. So again, like doing Merida, Moana, and Tiana is what I was hoping for. And I think they could do like something really cool, you know, like running around with Merida, or turning into animals like frogs or something.
I'm surprised
with
they didn't
Tiana.
include those 3 anyway, because those 3 movies were such big movies. I feel like it was like,
Yeah.
why didn't they
Plu-
include them?
Plus, it wouldn't, like, they had already done Toy Story for Pixar, so it's not like they like had Pixar stopping it with that part with Brave. So I definitely think they could have done that, but I don't know. Kingdom Hearts, convoluted as hell. That's all. That's the only thing that I usually actually explain to people about that, is I'll say, like, they'll be like, so, like, in one word, explain, like, describe Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, convoluted.
Yeah.
Convoluted hearts.
Because I can't
I-
tell you how many people I saw play 1, 2, and then 3 immediately and go, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, well,
Yeah, 'cause you can't.
There's 8 side games between 2 and 3, so...
And they
So-
all need to be played, is the
Yeah.
thing. It's not just like, oh, like a side, like a spin-off game. No, you have to play all of them. in order to-
So, having only watched Kingdom Hearts, one of the things that I noticed about it, tell me if this is a correct read or not, is it's convoluted, but it's not complicated. Like, every, like, theme in it and plot point is really straightforward. It's just there's
Yeah.
a lot of them.
There's
Like,
a lot
of them.
Yeah. There is a lot of it, yes.
So another Square Enix game that I'm pretty sure everybody in here is excited for. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
If it ever comes out. Yeah, I know they say they have
Oh.
a release date, but...
That's actually another interesting topic too, because I guess they just announced that not only will there be the like the new combat that they have in it, where it's mostly kind of hack and slash.
It's like
they
14.
said that there's
That's the only reason I
Yeah.
want to play it. It's because I love
they also
14.
the thing is though that they said that there's also going to be turn-based combat in it as well. So I'm wondering if you can switch back and forth.
Is it a Dragon Quest situation where there's like 2 different combats you can use? Is it
what I
Dragon Quest
think
or
it's
Tales
gonna
of
be
Berseria? That
is-
no,
in
because the
the-
Tales games aren't turn-based.
No, because they never were. Yeah, there's one. I think it's Dragon Quest in the PC version. At least you can pick between 2 different combat styles.
That's interesting. I need to look into this because I didn't.
Well,
know that.
no, okay, Dragon Age, Inquisition, I know you can do that.
Oh,
You can do,
Dragon
you can
Age,
do-
yeah.
so
Well,
can do
that
the
you can
top
definitely
down,
do, but
and
yeah,
then
I
you can
think I'm
do
thinking of
like
Dragon
when you're
Quest.
actually attacking each other. But it'd be interesting to keep both playstyles in order to appease both fans.
Yeah,
Because there are certain
Yeah.
fans
Some
of
big
Final
fat I can't
Fantasy who are
play.
like,
Oh.
Final Fantasy is turn-based, and then there are certain people who are like, I want to try it as a free-flowing fighting, like, I think it's 15 actually, not 14.
15, yeah, because
Yeah, what
14
knocked
is
it.
a
14's
14
the
is different.
MMO.
Yeah. Now see, like again, like I'm fine with like trying new things. I can understand where fans of the originals would be upset about that. This is like a whole RE7 thing again, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see this. I think Final Fantasy VII is a really cool game.
But-
This is
There's a
one of the
Final
few
Fantasy
games I
on
do think is
PBA
actually
that
worth
was
remaking.
What
When
is
was that?
what is it? It's
Tactics? Tactics was although
the
Yeah, I mean,
the
it's
full
tactical
game
turn-based.
isn't coming out right in 2020. It's not going to be the
No.
full game. It's
No.
just the first episode.
No, it's one
I was
disc.
like,
It's
dude, I was
episodic.
like, we heard about this game in 2014 that they're remaking it. It is now 2019 and they still haven't
Yeah,
released the
it's the
first
Hitman. It's the
episode.
Hitman model of content. So I probably won't be able to stream it, unfortunately, if it works anything.
But yeah, that's honestly, and that's another thing that I think we talked about last time, where we had kind of an issue with it because, like the original release of it was like 3 or 4 discs because it was just a large game.
Yeah.
Versus what they're going to be doing now is like I think they said they want to do 3 releases, but each of them you're going to have to buy, and it's probably
Yeah.
and it's definitely at least like the base game or
So
the
this is
standard
the-
edition is $60.
So this is the COD season pass thing. Just 3 iterations as opposed to the
I
one
mean,
and
it's
done.
obviously. I'm just wondering, like, how much more content they got to be, like, putting in there to have, like, for it to be substantial, I guess.
'Cause,
Because
like-
if it's gonna be like 20 hours, like,
I never.
Yeah, I mean,
I never played the
yeah,
original,
I'm
but-
skeptical.
I imagine the original
really good.
game, since it came out
Yeah.
such a long time ago, there's not a whole lot, like gameplay wise. Because I imagine like games back then were probably
It's a
shorter.
long game.
no, that's a long game. It's like
Oh.
a
It's
60,
multiple
70
discs.
hour.
So
Oh,
I
okay,
had it on
okay,
PS1 and PC, and it was multiple
Mhm.
discs on both of them.
Yeah, that's a super long game.
150 Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah, Destiny, basically, like Destiny 1.
mm.
You got to spend like hundreds of dollars to get the entirety of the thing.
But yeah, actually, here, let me look up really quick.
How much
'cause-
do you want to bet that after they've released everything, they're gonna do what NetherRealm Studio does with their like fighting games and do a complete edition that has every
So
single
a
thing in it?
completionist run is apparently 88.5 hours of Final Fantasy VII. The main story plus the extras is 54 hours, basically. So 54 hours if you want to do like a
Just
bunch
the
of
story.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
main
okay. One of my favorite things to get on is called howlongtobeat.com, which sounds
Yeah, that's
terrible.
what I was exactly what I
But-
was using.
But it's for gaming, I promise. But but yeah, main story is like it's like 38 hours, but that's just for the main story, which most people are gonna tend to go on to like side quests and stuff like that. So like with the extras, it's like 56 hours, but for a completionist run, it's 92 hours is what I'm looking at. Speed run of it for 100% is like 31 hours. That's a speed run
That's
of
a
it.
speed run, Jesus.
Speed run 100%. Speed
That's
run
a
any
long
percent.
damn
That's
game.
like yeah. I mean that's really long for
Well, wait. So
for a speed run, yeah.
that's subject to change though, because that was with the turn-based strategy.
Hmm.
Yes.
With the free-flowing strategy, it might be different now because it's
That's a
more freed up.
real good
That's actually a
point.
really good point.
Actually, I didn't even think of that. But
I
yeah,
didn't think
like
about that.
action games are real short
For game.
as a general rule. The like any action, like me and Trev have both played a lot of character action games, like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta and games like
Yeah,
that.
like if Devil May
Not that
Cry,
there's a lot of them, but we played them.
if Devil May Cry was a turn-based game, that'd be a lot longer because you.
It would be
Yeah.
take forever.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as it stands right now, like Trev, how long does it take you to make through DMC4? Would you say?
4
yeah.
on standard difficulty, not that long.
Yeah.
Probably like.
No, it's
Well, if I'm starting like a character brand new, probably a little longer just because I need the orbs. But like, if it's like a continuing character or something, 2.5 hours maybe for like
it's
the entire.
like it's quick,
Yeah.
right? Like I
How is
can't
the
play
same
Devil
in
May
Devil
Cry.
May
I get lost. Interesting.
It's the
Like,
same as like Resident Evil. It's made by the same people. It's like you. I could see that though, because the first time I played Devil May Cry 4, I actually streamed it a while back. I remember at one point just getting lost in like mission 4. I was like, where the fuck am I supposed to be going?
I got lost in fucking Overwatch once. I went down like an alley, hoping to make my way around some area, and then like I got stuck, and I was like, guess I gotta walk back around the whole way now.
There,
I made the
um,
mistake of looking up Witcher 3 on this website, by the way, Morgan.
Really? Oh, how long?
I think it's
I
like
mean,
for everything included. I think it's like 120 hours or something.
yeah. I mean, completionist is 172 hours. Oh,
Yeah,
my
Witcher
gosh.
3. No, I can actually verify that. My one of the guys who worked
I
in my
made
lab,
it a
Rick,
terrible
he
mistake.
did every quest in The Witcher.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for
Jesus.
that.
I
They
think
said
he
a
that-
leisurely. They said a leisurely with
Mm.
main and extras, including DLC. You could do 291 hours.
I think Rick told me that it took him
I-
185 to beat every quest.
I straight up disrespected everybody who worked on that game when I beat it in like 40 hours the first time because I skipped through all the dialogue.
Ari,
Well,
I'm
they-
sorry.
they-
I've
they
never
did
gotten lost in
say-
Devil May Cry, but I've done it in Overwatch. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, they said a rushed play of Witcher 3 is 32 hours. A rushed play.
Okay, so that sounds
Yeah,
like my
that's an
speed
Yeah.
because that's about
Yeah.
what I did.
Leisurely, they say 86.
Yeah,
A
that sounds
leisurely.
reasonable.
Witcher
That's
is
about where I am
Yeah.
with it.
And it's
I
the
think-
longest of the
Well,
Witchers as well.
I
Like Witcher
platinumed,
1 was not that long.
I platinum Odyssey in like 80 hours,
I'm gonna look up Odyssey.
and that was like, well, that was before DLC and stuff. But
You know what I hate about The Witcher 3?
I imagine there's.
I hate how it's screwed up all my Google autocompletes. So when I'm just trying to look for like The Witcher, it like autocompletes
The
the
3.
Witcher 3. That's really annoying.
I think
yeah,
you
so
can turn that off. As
this
an option.
run of Witcher 1 is 64 hours. Like,
That's a fraction of what it was.
yeah, exactly. Like, much shorter.
Yeah,
you
I love
You got
this.
it on
Like,
PC, right, Ari?
Witcher 1? Yeah, I have all the Witcher games on PC, actually.
I like this one, Legend of Zelda. Its main story is 49 and a half hours. Completionist is 181 hours.
Jesus.
You tried Odyssey, but you got frustrated. Oh, what did you get frustrated about? I'm curious because I
Was it
I
the
kinda-
selfie mode or the photo
Was it the
mode
fire?
or the fire?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, guys. Persona
Guys.
5 Completionist was 173 hours.
Wow, that's
It's okay. Morgan, you might have the world record, I think.
But there's a difference between
For most
completionist
hours.
and platinum as well, because like a
Yeah.
completionist run, like you can do a completionist run of Fallout 3, and you'll only get like a third of the trophies because you get points for going back and doing them all in like evil karma and like medium karma.
oh.
So you still got
scaling.
an out, Morgan.
Thanks, Rory. That
Well,
makes me
level
feel
scaling.
better.
It's as long as you're that level, you should be fine on those missions. So if you were trying to do like, if you're level 10 and you're trying to do like level 12 missions, you're gonna get destroyed because they want you to progress in the way it's intended for the game, as opposed to like being like, oh,
It's
I'm a
not
decent,
a Skyrim.
It's
style.
not like oh, I'm a decent player. Let me do this level
Oh,
15
Skyrim.
even though I'm level 10.
I wonder.
That's a good question, Morgan.
Wow, completionist. Okay, this is interesting. So, main story 33 hours. Completionist 225.
Yeah, the completionist run of Skyrim with all the side quests is real long.
Well, have you
Honestly-
ever 100% in Skyrim? It takes so long to do
Oh,
yeah,
those
no,
like
it's
Thief Guild
actually-
quests where you have to, like,
the
go
ambient
do
or radiant quest.
you
Thieves
have to
Guild
do
take
the things where
forever.
like you unlock everything else, and then because you got to do four random ones to unlock one, and then you have to do four another one, and then I was like, dude, like
Yeah, the Thieves Guild is super annoying.
I've done it 3 times.
Yeah. Zeus,
night,
thank you so much
Zeus.
for stopping by. It was great
Good
to see you. Yeah, Skyrim is that one's a long one. Now the good news is it's not the Oblivion situation where once you advance so far in Oblivion, you're bound to get frustrated and put it down because it gets so much harder as you progress. At least in Skyrim, you get more and more godlike, so it just
No,
becomes
godlike
easy. You
is
just start
just-
one hitting everything.
It's just crouch and use a bow. That's literally
Yeah,
all you need
literally.
to do.
Oh, so it was the level scaling that was frustrating in Odyssey. I can understand that.
Yeah, because Melissa took a couple times to kill certain animals in that game, even though she was like the correct level. I think the first
this
one
is-
was what, the boar, and you could.
Well, I
kill
mean, it
the
was like in
boar.
previous games, like if you were a certain level, you could just go back and visit an area that was like a lower level and just beat it. No
Yeah,
problem.
like
I
with-
think in this
with
one,
the
they
old school
keep scaling.
ones,
Yeah, they
It was,
kept
like,
scaling up.
districts
So
at
there
a
was
certain level.
there was like no value to scale to like leveling up. Like there's like useless.
I think this game is punishing at first, but the more you put into it and the more you understand it, it's like it gets easier as you go. Because I
No,
loved
this
it.
this I find interesting because I'm still like on on this website?
Yes, the boar. Oh my god, the farting boar or the other boar? The farting boar.
I think it was the
pissed me
first
off.
one.
Gears 5, guys. Guess how long that one takes to beat, just the main story.
7
82
hours.
11 hours.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm looking up Bloodborne right now.
Completionist run is
Well,
15 and a half.
I
That's
think-
a $60 game.
I think a completionist
15
for
and a half.
Bloodborne is
Oh,
like
15
6
and a
hours.
half. I want to say that would have to include like whatever the Ultimate Edition came with, which was like
They say
99 bucks.
77 and a half for Bloodborne.
77 and a half for a
For
completionist?
completionists, yep.
People do speed runs of 100% of that game in like 6 hours.
The one that I saw, I think at Games Done Quick, they did it in under 2 hours. With the
No,
DLC.
not for all trophies. All bosses is different than all trophies.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
completionist is
Completionist
Oh,
is,
yeah, 'cause
is
I'm
a
thinking
platinum
'cause-
and everything.
Yeah, because I think the one that I saw at Games Done Quick this year was, I think they just did all bosses DLC.
Yeah,
Bless you.
that's the standard run most people do. Is
Did I just say bless you?
I think it was. I think it was.
I was
It was
looking
John,
away.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. The.
Pass on the message that John has been blessed.
I was looking away. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like that's wild though. Like for like that game just came out and it's 15 and a half
Do you
completion.
want to know
Oh my
the
gosh.
completionist run it took me for Monster Hunter World? It was 668 hours.
Wait, what does it say?
Oh,
on
wait, I
here
gotta
for
look that
Monster
up.
Hunter?
Well, that's only
gotta see
because it's heavily based on RNG for the monster crowns, and I didn't know you could abuse it with doing event quests.
Completionist is 327 hours. Main plus extra is 93.
Oh my god.
Just main story is 50. Guys, we need to start. We need to play more Monster Hunter.
Wow. What do we like? We need to get signed
Dude,
off.
I have
and log into
almost,
Monster Hunter.
almost 800 hours in on PS4, and like I still don't have everything.
Oh my gosh.
This website's overwhelming.
But I was
no,
also
it's a really good website if you for streaming before you do a game.
Oh, actually, yeah,
on,
actually, yeah.
in
It's like, do I have time to play this?
PS4, I was part of the 0.4% plat club for Monster Hunter World.
My God.
And then Arkham Knight, actually, I think I'm still the 0.8% because no one's platinum that game since it came out.
But according to that website, I'm about to finish Sticks. Yay!
It's I think it's just how long to beat, right?
Yeah, how long to
This
beat? You
website?
just type it
Yeah,
in.
it's just how long
I,
to-
like
I've
I use
literally
HLTB in the Google search. and that
I've
helps.
literally never been on this website before, but it's
If-
amazing.
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
really
Me
love it.
Full
Me and Tiff
disclosure,
swear by
if that link is not what I think it is and it's some sketchy link, that's not on me because I just typed it in as I heard it.
Full disclosure, that's not on me.
I like that for Link's Awakening. There's no data for
Yeah,
for
not yet. It
completionists.
looks like.
Yeah, but they get them pretty quick, right? Like they.
Wait, I thought the whole point of like doing that was releasing or having people play games early was for and like people doing reviews was to get a gist of how long it was supposed to be to beat.
for like early review copies.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's because a lot of early review copies aren't actually the retail version of the game, so I don't know if they
Oh.
record data from non-retail.
Well, because I
versions.
know people who get early copies and then like they like YouTubers or something like they'll be like, oh, the a couple days before they're like, oh, here's the first like 8 parts of Batman or whatever.
Oh yeah, they could do that, but I don't know if the website accepts data. By the way, Ari, the concern wasn't that the link was gonna work. The concern was that the link was gonna work and it wasn't gonna be the site. we
Yeah,
intended it to be.
the concern was that it was a different link than I thought it was gonna be.
It's like, hey, I don't know how long the beat.org is, so just add a Y at the end of that one.
Is that a domain? Is that a domain registry you can actually buy?
I hope not.
I feel like someone would have bought it if it was.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, like, I actually really like this website. I've been using that website for a long time, actually, just
Yeah,
because
me too.
I've wanted to know, like, just in case, because Like, sometimes
Another
it's-
alternative to this site is PowerPix's website because he, especially since his job is essentially platinuming games and putting up like tutorials on games and how to do the specific trophies, he will tell you the difficulty of the platinum on his rating, and since he's done over 200 games platinum, he has a pretty good idea. And then he'll
Trev, you might be able to-
he'll like break them down and tell you like how long it should take you. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Trev, Aries asking about other Ash, so you probably can answer that
Was that the
question.
one that Ash one? No, did she actually buy a website? I don't think so.
So Ari, the thing is, we know, well, multiple Ashes, but we know 2 Ashes in particular that we refer to a lot, and so it gets confusing.
Yeah, other Ash is the Ash you know, and then Ash is the Ash that we all know.
Yes, yeah, exactly. We might want to wind it down there. At some 3 hours into our hour-long podcast.
Yeah, this is. I think this is about as long as.
I think from now on, we're not even gonna say it's an hour-long podcast.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
we're
it's
just
a
gonna go ahead
it's
and
a
say it's
3
3
hour
hours.
podcast.
Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by.
For those of you still here, we did talk about it for the UK people and people who aren't with our time zone. We may potentially be doing an earlier, because Melissa's not going to be here for this coming week. So we may potentially do an earlier podcast. Earlier in the week.
Friday. Yeah, earlier in the day
Yeah.
and earlier in the week. So
And
prepare for that minor schedule disruption.
It would be Wednesday, correct? Because that's the
Yeah,
that's
it would
day that
probably
works
be
for me.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that,
We'll
so
tweet
the-
it all
the
out
issue is
and like
that,
we'll keep you guys updated in case.
yeah. So Melly's gone for the next 2 Fridays, and then me and Morgan are gone the Friday.
After
So-
the two. So that's when either we'll have 2 guests or we'll have to do another schedule where we do it earlier in the week.
Yeah,
is
we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
Is
we'll
the
figure it
guest
out as
gonna be?
closer.
Are we gonna get Tiff this week?
Yes,
By the way,
Tiff is gonna be well.
Yeah.
Okay, Tiff depends on when her when her
Tiff
thing
has
is.
a night class on Wednesday. I know that for a fact.
Okay. When does she get?
So we
out
can
of
do it
there,
after
though?
that. Or but remember.
We can
I think
ask her because she's gonna stream tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it also depends on if her charger port is coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tiff has a Razer
Because
laptop
I
and
made
is now running it.
Ruck phaser.
the remembrance to add that hashtag at the end.
Yeah, that's really rough actually. What happened to her? Because I thought
Oh
for
my God,
ages
yeah.
I didn't realize Tiff didn't have a desktop. Because
No,
Tiff
yeah, no, she
messaged
used
me
a
one
laptop.
day for like help with her computer. She was like, "Can you help me with my computer?" I was like, "Sure." I was and she was gonna be like coming back home like pretty soon. I was like, we could just look at it then. And I found out it was a laptop actually.
Mhm.
I was like, "You don't have a desktop at all?" She was like, "Nope."
I was
shit.
the same way until I got this PC. Like I only had the MacBook Pro that's like sitting on the floor.
But
that I
now,
never
like,
touched.
imagine going back, like any of us to not having a desktop.
I
That
could
would
do it.
be-
It'd just be really boring because like when I was on just my MacBook, I would only play PS4 games.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to
See,
play
I
like
can't-
Overwatch and
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that
God.
would be brutal.
I could play
Um,
Overwatch with Beast, but like
Yeah. Morgan, imagine movie nights from a laptop.
Oh no, I don't want to.
No, exactly.
oh yeah, that's also
Yeah.
something we had to figure out. Is in Fast 5, and then
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was like, is Trev planning my dates now?
No. well,
Yeah, that's the same
when you
for me,
become
right?
ranked number
I've
1
heard.
in her
Unless you
channel,
can get, like,
can
a
plan
really
them
good
yourself.
Snap.
Yeah. All right. That'll be it for us tonight. Because I do have a date tonight, actually, as it would turn out.
and that's why the heart's there. So
Thank you guys
Yeah.
again so much for stopping by. We'll
thank
be
you
tweeting
for
out.
the support. Thank you for showing up.
Yes.
Showing out. Thanks for contributing.
Asking
No,
questions.
I
Yes,
was like,
Yes.
I was like, thanks for being included. And I was like, no, that's not the right word. I was like, thank you for contributing to the conversation.
Yeah. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Yes, with a potential guest. We shouldn't
Yes.
have because it's not that difficult to schedule around a class.
Yeah, exactly.
Do any of you have anybody on
The raid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like a ton of people on. Oh, I was gonna say streamers become human, but that's us.
Rating ourselves.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it
who
won't let you rate yourself.
on. We've got options.
Is Deckard on? 'Cause
Decker is not on.
Oh, okay. I was like,
unfortunately.
I know he's always on really late.
He streams late.
He
yeah,
has
yeah, but
that
he's not
problem
on
with
tonight.
hosting.
Didius is on. Let's see. Tracy's also on.
Tracy's on. That's true.
Let's see. Brutalbex is also.
What is Didius doing?
Didius
Your
is playing,
favorite. Your favorite.
Tarkov.
He's playing Target. Okay, I was gonna say I don't really know him. I was like, we should host him, but I was like,
Trev does not like that
it's
game.
Tarkov. All right, never mind.
That's Travis told me, he was like, "You're never streaming that," which is convenient because I wouldn't stream that. But the let's see, Metagame Mike is also on.
Metagame Mike is a lot of fun, also. So that's
Yeah.
also a good one.
He's playing Brawlhalla, a game he works on.
Yeah, that's true.
Brawlhalla.
How do you spell Metagame Mike?
METAGAMEMIKE.
What game? Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla. It's like a fighting.
Brawlhalla.
It's like Smash, but not. Like it's got similarities to Smash. It's the closest analog to an actual like modern, like well-known fighting game.
Metagame Mike is also really cool because he does a lot of art streams as well.
Yes.
He does a lot of artwork. Does a lot of
Like that?
Metagame Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, bingo.
Okay.
Yeah. He does a lot of emotes for people, and he'll do animations for people as well.
I discovered him originally from him doing emotes.
Oh,
for
the game I
somebody,
hate,
actually.
Escape from Tarkov.
Oh yeah. Trev does not like it. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Ash tends to play that game a lot, so
We have an outro song.
we do.
Thanks to Trinsic. Do we have a thing
Do
down
we?
below?
Do we today?
Well, we had so I completely forgot about fixing the outro song. We could use the intro one continued, and
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna record that song I wrote so we can use that at some point in the future for
Yeah.
if we need
yes.
it.
I also
That's
don't. So we're such professionals that I didn't actually add a different scene for the ending one. So we're just gonna we're just gonna click raid, and then we're gonna say goodbye, and then yeah, we're gonna just raid.
Excellent.
So thank
Andrew.
you.
Andrew.
Listen, Andrew, I changed it so it said starting soon instead of tune in next time in the intro, which none of these people brought up the first time.
Yeah, we all noticed it though.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah,
record,
literally
we're very observant. Yeah.
everybody noticed it and didn't say anything. But,
Better start
yeah.
with an ending message. Usually, I just go with "I'm Apsio Morgan."
Yes, we have been Streamers Become Human.
Take it easy.
We'll catch you guys earlier in the week next time. All right, bye bye.
Bye,
Good
guys.
night, guys. Bye.